Hey,
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? How are y'all doing today? How are y'all doing today? We're back
Nice.
on another weekend with Unfiltered No Chaser, starring Nitra, EJ, and LB. Do y'all like our background that we did today? Do y'all like it? Do
I
y'all
think
like it? Do
that
y'all
looks
like it?
fire.
You like it because we are hot. 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 So I'm going to start off the introduction. My name is Nitra. I am a federal government employee. I work for the Department of None of Your Business. I have two generational, no, not two, but I have a set of generational children, one in the Navy, one in college, and one 13-year-old cheerleader. And also I have a bonus baby, aka a grandchild, and he is here today. But I put him out the room so we could start talking grown people's talk today. So I am a jack of all trades, a master of some. What else? What else? Oh, my daughter, my youngest daughter, is launching her business. She is coming out with her lip gloss line. So when we get a chance and get it up and running, we'll probably bring her on the show as a young entrepreneur. And so I'm going to kick it over to EJ.
Hello. Hello, everybody. How you guys doing? Welcome back again. My name is Erskine E.J. Alexander, and I am checking in from the great city of New York. I am a graduate of Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia. I am also a graduate of Columbia University here in New York City. I am a board certified mental health practitioner, and I am also an actor here. I've been a board certified mental health practitioner this year, making 19 years. 19 years.
Woohoo!
Woo. And believe you me, it's never a dull moment, especially this time of the year. And well, not even the time of the year, but just basically what's going on. I'm also an actor, recently featured in the movie Six Tales of Sin and the ABC show For Life.
Woo!
Yes. So I am a husband, I am a father, and I would not be in this space, in this position, without the love and support of my amazing wife, Sabrina. So shout out to her and shout out to my amazing daughter, Amira. And that's my story.
Ah, all right, LB, your time is next to shine.
All right, guys. Thanks. Just adjusting myself here for a second. Again, thank you so much for having me on your podcast this Saturday evening. Again, my name is Lawrence LB. I am classmate of Nitra and EJ from Columbus, Georgia. My background is I have a bachelor's degree in political science. Excuse me, bachelor's degree in political science. I also have a master's degree in human resources. And my profession of trade is global human resources for about the past 17 years. And so, again, I just say welcome to everyone. And thanks again for allowing me to be a part of your show.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Y'all always talking about your little degrees and stuff. Let me shout out my damn degree. So
Okay.
I have a
Shout
IT
it out
back.
there. Shout it out.
I have an IT background for over 20 years,
All right.
both active duty and as a government employee. Okay, and I also have a bachelor's in business administration with the concentration in entrepreneurship. I think we all should have some type of legitimate business. I'm a business not minded person, and I'm not gonna do IT forever. So there we
Keep
go.
it going.
But tonight,
That's right.
Erskine, you found us somebody awesome to talk to this evening for a
Right.
couple of
Yes.
minutes before we just dive into today's episode. Can you tell us a little bit about her?
About Miss Christy Black, Dr.
Yes.
Excuse me, let me correct it.
Yes,
Dr.
please.
Christy
She
Black
earned that.
Morel. Yes.
You better put some
You put
respect on
some
her name.
Put some
right.
respect on Christy's name. Oh man. Dr. Christy Black Morel is a good friend of mine. She is a native of Columbus, Georgia, and she also went to Morris Brown College. Um, she also went to Kendrick High School. She went to Kendrick High School, so kudos to her going to Kendrick High School, class of '96
Mhm.
graduate.
Can't
And
be,
it,
can't be
well,
great.
okay, we're not gonna talk about Kendrick, but Christy's a dear friend of mine. Shout
We
out
give
to
her a
her.
pass. Look, we
Yeah,
give her a
we give her a
pass
pass.
We have a
We give her,
pass.
because she's a
yeah,
doctor.
she's
We
a
give her a
doctor,
pass.
you know. So Christy is an author. She's put out several books and everything. And with all what's been going on now, I reached out to her because I wanted to allow her the chance to talk about some of the things that she's written so far and just how it has
Oh,
impacted
excuse me.
the community, how she's impacted people with her books, and just giving her a chance to shed some light on some of the things that she's doing now and some of the things that she's going to do in the future. Again, Christy also went to Morris Brown with me in the great city of Atlanta. So kudos, she's a Brownite. And it's truly, truly an honor to just have her on the show tonight to talk about some of her business ventures,
Okay, so
what
with
she's
with
doing.
with that all said, let's bring Miss Doc. What is it?
Christy,
Miss
Doctor.
she's a
Doctor
doctor.
Chrissy.
Doctor.
I was gonna say
Christy
Miss Doctor.
Black.
Well, you put,
Doctor.
Moyer.
hey,
Look. The great Doctor Christy Blackmore.
Right.
right,
Hey,
right.
yeah.
Well, hello, Queen. How are you doing today?
She
We
muted her
can't
mic.
hear you.
Unmute your mic, Christy.
I did it
Unmute your mic.
for.
There
I
you
did it
go.
for. I got you. I got you.
Okay.
Okay, appreciate that. Cause I was like, okay, my mic is muted. Hey, man, I'm excited to be here, excited to share and
Mm.
discuss with you awesome people. Erskine, the introduction, man. I appreciate the love. Appreciate the love. That's that brown eye. That's that brown eye blood. That's what it is.
Mm,
I know you.
mm.
I know
Right.
it was hard to mention Kendrick High School, but that's okay. I got roots. I got roots here in
Right.
C-Town.
Right.
But yeah, we got. I'm excited because we got some great things happening. Our world is in chaos, and
Mhm.
my way to respond to that is my pen to paper. That's my
Yes.
way to respond. So, like Erskine mentioned, I got some books out there. My journey started a long time ago. I
Hmm.
mean, a young girl. Like that was my way of coping, which is why I'm a counselor now. The way I dealt with every feeling, every thought, every emotion was to put it on my in my journal and work my way through it. So
Hmm. Okay.
now I use that in my therapy and I use that in my written word, whether and I use my spoken word. I do a little spoken word poetry too. So I drop a little something every now and again for that too. But right, my most recent release is for my young people. It's for the young ones because that's who we've got to reach. If we want to see some change, you've got to
Yes.
start with this next generation. And so I work in an elementary school as a school counselor. And so I wrote this book called Do You Know? And it's all about the power of positive affirmation. You
Okay.
know how hard it is sometimes to look at my little black boys and little black girls that go to my school with me and are far and in between on the covers of books. I made sure that they would be on the cover of mine. I want them to see their face and know that their skin is awesome,
Hmm.
especially in the time that we're living in right now. So throughout the book, it's just all about um each page is a different positive affirmation. You have a kind heart, you are brave, you will move mountains, um you have a smart brain. It's all about things that will lift them up. The world is tearing them down enough. They turn on the news, it tears them down. They go different places, it tears them down. What my role, I feel like, is to be a builder, and positive words build. So that's what I'm doing. I've done that. Even my books prior to my poetry books were all about hope and life. And then my fiction now, look, I did go to Morris Brown, so it got a little wild in my it got a little wild in my fiction time. But you know what? Even in that, it's all about the journey. Everything is all
Hmm.
about the journey. You live, you learn, you grow, and that's what that those books were about: living, learning, and growing. And now I'm about planting those seeds in these young people. Parents, you need to do it. That's why it's written from a parent to a child. The very first place they learn what love looks like is from a parent to them. So it's your job, whether it's mama by herself or it's mom and daddy. You use your words and you build your kids up. So when they go out and somebody wants to bully them or somebody wants to say their skin is ugly and dirty and nasty, you know you poured enough into them that they know they can fight with the words you've given them. Now they love
Right.
themselves, and that's
Right.
that's it's power in self love.
Right.
I've even had 50-year-old women come to me and say, "Girl, I read that book you made for the children. I needed that for me because
You
you
know,
know
you in
what?
the South, they say the children.
The children, exactly, the children. They read that book for the children." But
Mhm.
it's so true that self love doesn't stop in kids. We need it. We see women every day that need it, men that need it. I say all the time, I love my black men. So that we need it. Everybody needs that. So that's what it's all about.
Right.
Now, and I wanted to ask Dr. Black Morrell,
Yes,
now,
yes, that's me.
based upon your experience working now, what age group do you do? Elementary or for counseling, right?
Currently, I work in an elementary school, and I do some private
Excuse
practice
me.
work too. But I've worked with from 4-year-olds to married couples. So I've worked the
Gotcha.
whole gamut. Yeah, I've worked in a middle school, a high school. So I've had all facets of children. And then, like I said, their families as well.
So would you say that these affirmations came from sort of case studies or some of the experience that you've had from speaking with those clients of yours that
Hmm.
will look for something that they can take away sort of after they've had that session with you, right?
Exactly. That's why I advocated for families as well. Like for people who work with families, this is a great time to create open communication between the parent and the child. Like if you just, because we're so quick to identify with the negative things in our kids, oh, you did that bad, you were wrong, or whatever. But if we could pull out the positive, so yes, this comes from working with children who have extreme anger issues.
Mm.
So knowing that you have a smart brain, because people tell them all the time, you're so mean, you're so bad, you're just trouble. No, you have a smart brain. It's in there, and I see it, and we're gonna pull it out of you. So yes, it comes from the kids I serve. It comes from the families that I work with.
Okay.
Absolutely, and it's for any age.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And I think the book, I mean, from what I could see from the book, I think that's a pretty good thing because it's such a norm now for our younger kids to be on social media sites and seeing reality TV shows that they think that the negative behavior is really
Yes.
positive behavior. And
Right.
it's
Yes.
like, why are you
Yes.
watching?
Yes.
I remember when my 24-year-old was in high school, she used to watch Bad Girls Club.
Mm-hmm.
And these girls, when I tell you, they were like, what are you doing? It was be this, I hate you, F you this. I'm trying to stop cursing.
Right.
um,
Work in progress.
it was a lot of toxic negativity. And I asked my daughter, I said, why are you watching this?
Mm.
She said it's funny to see how they act. I said, is it funny or you think it's good behavior? She said it's
Right.
funny. She said because I can't believe that they're on TV actor actually being this
And
ignorant.
getting paid for that.
I said
Mm.
and getting paid for it.
Under the
And
auspices
so
of reality.
The
right.
opposite of
And
reality.
Exactly.
so
Yes.
So
I
not
asked her
real.
I said, well, normally for these type of reality shows, there's a constellation prize that goes along with it, like the last man standing there get whatever. Well, what do they get? She said they don't get anything. Wait a minute.
Mm.
So you mean to tell me that they're on TV getting sloppy drunk, tearing
Making a fool
up
out of
the
themselves.
place, making a fool of themselves. Now grandma and mama can't go to church in the Sunday best
Right.
because
Shame.
you showing yourself. Um, you're tearing up
Mm.
the place, and they get nothing from it. And she said, no, they don't get anything from it. And I said, okay. I said, but here's the reality: if you all stop watching this, they won't have the
It won't be on no
ratings
more.
to bring it back anymore. They
Right.
won't have the ratings. I said, so it takes you all to stop watching it because the more ratings they get, the more the people get paid. And the more
Hmm.
people get paid, the more they're expected to act ignorant.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. But that's the thing. It's so backwards. Like every kid I talk to about why did you get in that fight, it always goes back to respect.
Hmm.
That's the key. He didn't respect me. She didn't respect me. When they curse out their teacher, they didn't respect me. But what does respect really mean? They don't even really know. But that's because that's that missing piece of self-love. You don't even know who you are and how amazing you are as a person all by yourself, whether anyone tells you or doesn't tell you. That's an innate thing that we can start to build on, but it takes people building. It takes people sowing those words.
Yeah.
That's why at the end of the book, I flip it back and I let the
Hmm.
parents sow some words into their kids. It's a written part at the end.
Mm.
It's a little
Yeah.
worksheet.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it's a part for the kids to own that. And now right for themselves, how they see themselves.
Right, right.
So it's because it's not going to change until they see it for themselves.
Right.
Right.
And it has to start at a very
Got
young
to.
age,
Right.
because
Mm-hmm.
so many times that we as an adult, you start dating and you date the way you think you're supposed to date, and then when you come from a loving home but the person you're dating does not come from a loving home,
It's
and
a
you
mess.
go to try to love on them, and then they be like, whoa, what are you doing? you know what's wrong with you? Were you not loved as a child? And the answer
Nope.
returns is like, no, we didn't say I love you in my house, or my mom never hugged me.
Yeah.
What? Like,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
Right.
You look like
at first I was shocked. Like, I remember my mom used to, we would be sleeping in bed. And my mom would, and I do it to my kids too, would come and jump on the bed with us and just be,
mm-hmm.
I love you,
That's
Yeah.
mama.
me.
You be
Yeah.
like,
That's me
stop,
all
mom,
day.
stop,
Yeah.
stop.
Yeah.
Just to, but just to find out years later in your adult life that
That
whoever
wasn't the
you're
norm.
interested in, that's not the norm for them. Like,
Right.
and then
Right.
you're looking at them like, what do you mean your mother didn't? Your
Right.
mother didn't do
Exactly.
this.
Yeah.
So
But the blessing in that is that we get to be that stand in. I
yeah,
love
Mm.
working at elementary school. I get to be that stand in for the parents, for the kids that don't get that. That's me.
yeah,
And
Well,
I
I
know it all the time because kids come to me, they hugging. Thank you, Dr. Maria. I can tell you love me. They know it. They feel it.
yeah,
yeah.
They hear it. So if you
yeah,
Yeah.
don't get it at home, I'm gonna give it to you them 8 hours out the day. I got
Right, right. Yeah, and
yeah.
I've had parents, being here in New York, especially what's going on now, being here in New York, I've had parents tell me, and it kind of hits as a blow, but it piggybacks on what you're saying. I've had parents say, "You've done more for my child than the father has.
you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're just being around my child is more." And you see this child once a week, maybe twice a week in a therapy session.
Mm.
You've done more for my child than his father. The conversation that you take time out of your schedule now, especially that we're all on this quarantine and everybody's home,
Exactly.
you taking the time to talk to my child for 30 minutes on the phone, 25 minutes on the phone, even if the sessions end in 15 to 20, you've done more than the father has. You've done more than another parent has.
Right.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
had a parent just recently. The father, I remember when he would bring the son to session at the office, the father would be knocked out in the lobby,
Mm-hmm.
just knocked out in the lobby, and
Yep.
I would ask the child in session, so what are some of the things that you and your father do when you guys are together? Because the father and the mother are not together. And guess what the child would say? What do you think he would say?
He was asleep.
Nothing.
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 Mm-hmm.
Exactly. He said, I get more conversation coming to talk to you than I do with my father. And I'm
And
with
you
the
know
mother.
what? You know what? And the father need to go to counseling because he probably don't even know how to be a father.
No, he doesn't.
Exactly. He probably
He doesn't.
missed a piece. He
He
missed
missed
that
the piece.
element.
He missed the piece. Yeah, he
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
missed the piece. So it's so important. And I made a video last night on
No,
Facebook
that wasn't a
saying
video. That was a rant.
that was a rant. Okay.
That was a rant. It was so bad. He was repeating himself over and over and over.
Oh,
He was
because
Then
mad.
look,
He was
and
okay,
mad.
then
yeah, I
Facebook
was
shut him
mad.
down. Then Facebook shut him down. And then he came back on. I was the first person to pop back on with him. And he started again saying this.
I started again.
I
I
said,
started
Erskine,
again.
go to bed. You're
He
repeating
felt that in
yourself.
his
He
heart.
said,
He
I don't
felt
want to
that.
go to bed.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, I can't take Amara to nowhere because COVID
yeah.
19, because y'all won't wear your mask. And I said,
They won't
Erskine,
wear him.
you are
They won't wear,
beating.
and it's so. And you're right. A lot of people say you're beating a dead
No,
horse,
it's not a
but
dead horse because it's reality right now.
it's
It is.
reality.
Right.
It
It's
is. Yeah.
reality. But
But
it's
it was
so
just funny.
frustrating.
You was like,
Oh,
you was just. It was like,
I was assisted.
When
That
he
was
gets
like
mad,
today. My
his blood
drive through
starts
sign. My
stretching.
drive through signing. I asked wear a mask on the flyer. It says wear a mask. You think everybody wore a mask?
and
Yeah.
I would have hit the window. Yeah.
They
No.
Because
you can
that's the
drive
But tell
all
us,
problem.
Hey,
over.
but
at the
tell
same
us.
time, take this book. Take this book now.
Right. Go with my gloves on and my mask because I have my gloves
Right,
and mask on.
Right.
right,
So
right.
so with the children's book,
Uh-huh.
you so what was the question I want? Oh, so with the children's book, who do you find is purchasing the book more for the little brown boys or the little brown girls?
Um, I
Or
think
is it a
that
good mix?
it's right now. It's been a pretty good mix.
Hmm.
I think that more often, unfortunately, little girl parents buy little girls books more often than they buy little boys.
They
Mhm.
It
do.
just works that way.
Yeah.
Like I asked them to send pictures back of their kids. I got about 4 pictures of little boys. I got like 20 pictures of little girls.
Mhm.
It's just the way it goes. So, but that's okay because I plan on planting some seeds and giving some books out. So
Yeah.
it'll work out just fine. I'm gonna put them in some little brown kings, little princes' hands, so they can get to reading too. But it's the way it goes. We put footballs in their hands and basketballs in their hands. We don't put books in them.
There's a program. I just was going to say that there's a program with a barbershop that's in Columbus. And what they do is when they sit down to get their haircut,
Oh, they get to read a book.
they have to read a book.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I thought that was the most exciting thing I've ever seen because they want, how can I say it? Men have to also get to the understanding, yes, we want our boys to play football and basketball and run track and baseball and things of that nature. But we also need them to understand that having an intelligent mind as a black man is just powerful.
Yes.
It's
And it's
just
such a
powerful. It's
turn
something
on
nobody can take
as
away.
an adult. Yeah, and as an
Yeah.
adult,
Yeah.
it's such a turn on when you can have mind stimulating conversation.
Ooh, yes.
You know, and you're not talking about
Right.
the latest and greatest Jordans that's came out. And,
Right,
you know, like you're
And I
really
won't know.
and you're seriously, excuse my language, mind fucking somebody, not fucking with somebody's mind, but mind fucking them with intelligent conversation. So it's really
All
refreshing
the high school.
when you can when you can. I hate y'all. It's really good when you can find a man. I know for me to stimulate your mind in other ways than just talking about, yeah, me and my boy, we went to the club last night, or we went to the strip club last night, or whatever,
Uninterested.
football and all of that. I don't watch football, so you can miss me with that.
Right.
But
What's your latest read? How about that?
yeah. So I think that's good. But you wrote some other books too.
I did. I have a fiction story. Like it's a whole series. It was called Sometimes Love Comes Around. And like I said, I am a proud graduate of Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, we don't want to get you.
I'm a Brown to the heart. So that's where it started.
Stank on it, Mo Brown.
Erskine, let's get through the interview.
Bring it back. I know. I feel you.
You know we're not gonna have homecoming. We're not gonna have homecoming this year, so I got
so
that.
This right here is our homecoming.
This is homecoming right here.
Do not start talking about homecoming. He will go on another rant.
Okay,
I already know.
Dr. Morel, please continue with your story.
Okay. I'm sorry.
She's going to go on a tangent.
I'm gonna go there.
I'm about to mute him.
I digress. Okay. So the first Sometimes Love Comes Around is based on 3 girls based on a historically black college campus. Hint, hint, Morris Brown. So it is fictional / non-fictional with a little bit of added sauce and spice in it. And basically it's just 3 girls just trying to figure out who they are, where they're going in life. And baby, the ride is crazy.
Oh, wow.
And so the first book, it follows all 3 of them. The second and third book more closely follows Shell, which is the main character.
Okay.
And she dates the main football star on campus, and things get real crazy for them.
Okay.
But I don't want to tell too much, but it's a wild
like a
ride.
Good read, so
it's a wild ride. I definitely say that. So it's a 3-book series.
Okay.
And then I wrote I'm a Hallmark lover, Hallmark Christmas movie lover. I'm sorry. But so I wrote an unexpected Christmas love story.
Okay.
So yeah, it's all about this girl. She's engaged, and then the engagement breaks off, and I ain't gonna tell you why, but read it to find out. And it breaks off, and she goes away, and she runs into this amazing guy. It's an interracial love story. Real wild.
Okay, I'm with
Yeah.
that.
It's real good and spicy. So those were my 2 dips into the fiction world.
Listen, you had me as soon as you said Hallmark.
Yes.
You will cry if you don't know about Hallmark Movie Channel. I don't know who made it. It is the best damn
Hallmark
channel.
made it. That's who made it.
Hallmark made it.
It was like, damn it, nobody's buying our cars anymore. Let's come out with some.
They turn them cars into movies. They made it work.
They do what they say.
Hey, but I tell you what, they give Vivica A. Fox a check. every weekend. She in one of the movies.
Right. She really is.
But I will
What?
say at the end, they always make you warm and fuzzy. They have a good
Yeah,
message.
Yeah.
you feel all in the inside, little tear right there in the corner. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Hallmark
It,
movie.
it makes
I,
life a little bit better.
it makes it a little bit better.
Yes. So that's that. And then of course, my passion has always been poetry. So I have a
Mm.
couple poetry books out there. That's what's behind me. If you can see it, Soul Cries.
Yes, I saw. I
That was
saw.
I,
my first audio book was
Okay.
Soul Cries. So it's an audio poetry
like,
book.
Okay. Okay.
So
Well,
yeah, all of them
that's
are
what's
found on
up.
my website, which is streaming down below. I hope y'all are all looking. So yes,
Yes,
it's streaming
sir.
down
Yes,
there,
sir.
but they're all on there. And yeah, I love what I do.
Well, that's
I do
good.
what I
If you
love.
love what you do, then you're never working.
Never work a day in my
Never
life.
working.
Mm-mm.
Never working.
Mm-mm. I don't
That's
like what I
awesome.
do all the time. It just pays me really, really well.
Well, sometimes you
That's it.
you do
Hey,
for a little change. Now I understand that.
yeah.
You get your hobby you love.
That's right.
Oh, I
That's right.
did. And COVID-19 said, I had to close it. So I had to shut down my business. But, I'm
Oh
cool with
man.
that because my daughter, she's starting her business up. So,
Nice.
I
Okay.
have to run it on the back end. But,
Nice.
There you go.
well, do you have any book signings anywhere else that you're gonna be at that
Well,
people in
Like I
Columbus
said,
can come out and see you?
as of right now, I do not because of COVID shutting everything down. I'm in a
Hmm.
situation, but I am planning a discussion for parents about the power of their positive conversation with their children. So I'm
mm,
planning that. It should be coming probably the next couple of weeks. So kind of pay attention to my Arthur Christie website and page on Facebook, on Instagram. It'll be going live, but I'm gonna have some good conversations with some parents.
Okay,
Try to
well,
boost that communication.
I think that's amazing, amazing, and
that is
I
awesome.
like what you're doing, especially with the babies because they need
Absolutely.
to
they
know
need
that
it.
somebody loved them because the world right now is telling them
Is not
otherwise.
showing them that at
It's
all.
not showing
And,
it. And
and sometimes it's not even the parents,
it's
for
not even
people,
the parents.
Mm-mm.
clinicians like, you and EJ,
Yeah,
especially when mental health isn't something that is really
Talked
looked
about in the
upon
accepted
community.
favorably in
Right.
in our
Black culture.
community.
Right. Exactly.
I think we've been so attuned to going to the church.
Right.
But
Praying it away.
But it ain't
yeah,
working. But you
you
know
And
what?
pray
gotta give
mental
it
health
up.
away.
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
so I really can appreciate how, when the conversation is over, right? So when the kids go home and they have to go back to, 145th and Fordham, right? Erskine back home,
Sure. Yep.
when they have to get back into society, they have something of an example of your book to keep reinforcing and keep reminding them
Right.
of
Mm-hmm.
their
Right.
strength and their worthiness, even if they don't get it from their mom or get it from their dad or get it from parents or even from the school district. They at least have something like this book to
Right.
remind them
Mm-hmm.
something over and over again that I can do this, even if I have to do it on my own.
Right.
Right.
And they build that resilience in them because that's the world. That's what our young next generation needs, some resilience.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they fall apart about everything. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
pull yourself up by your bootstraps sometimes. But
Yeah.
that takes that internal stuff, and that's what these affirmations will do. If you
Yeah.
gotta print them out and put them on your mirror, and every morning you recite them, whatever you gotta do to build
Yeah.
yourself up.
Shoot,
Right.
we need affirmations even if you are already strong minded, just to make sure
You right.
Yeah.
you
Just a
stay strong
reminder.
minded.
Just to
You
stay
Stay
know?
strong.
strong. Yeah.
Reminder.
Yeah, just to
You,
stay strong.
you find yourself now in a space where you have to focus on the positives because there's so much negativity when you walk out the front door. It's so
Yeah.
much negativity
Absolutely.
when you turn the TV on. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm being silly, but yeah, I was on a rant last night because it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating for our children to have done well in school, or the ones that have done these things that society says you're supposed to do, and they can't be properly celebrated.
Right.
Imagine what that does to the self-esteem of a child. When you've been told, listen, you need to do your schoolwork, make straight A's, do whatever it is you got to do to pass, and they do that. And you look forward to that day of graduation, or you look forward to that day of school, the last day of school, and you can't be
Right.
properly rewarded.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. And the kids right now with your book and just even with therapy, they need that encouragement. They need
Yes.
that upliftment.
Absolutely.
It's major because as a parent myself, my kid is almost a teenager now, and she's had her up and down days, up and
Oh
down
yeah. This is
days, you
tough.
know. So imagine all the other kids who are going through this.
And then they're
Imagine.
at home with parents who maybe not even like you sewing into them at all.
Absolutely,
Like me, I got
absolutely.
toddlers. They're looking like they're scared, don't want to go out because they're scared COVID's gonna jump on them because they're so
Right.
confused about what this really means and what that's a lot to explain to a kindergartner.
It's a
Right.
lot
Absolutely.
to explain to somebody that's in their 40s. I don't want
You
to
know
go
what
outside, mama. I don't want to do
No,
it. I
no,
don't want to do that.
Right.
well, I want to
Exactly.
share. I want to share something with all of you guys, and because with us all being natives of Columbus, when we were all teenagers, our biggest excitement was going to the mall when we was
Oh
12 years
yeah.
old. You couldn't tell us then, right? Just to give you guys an example of what happened yesterday, my daughter and my wife went to the mall. My daughter came home from the mall and was like, and I was like, because you can't go in the stores. You go in the store,
Oh,
you can't try on the clothes. If you see something you want to buy, it's so much confusion. So just the little outlet of the basic things that teenagers would like to do, they can't
can't
even
even
do
do
that.
it.
And if they
Yeah.
do it, it's not comfortable.
At the,
So
Right.
yeah,
at the end of this, I say that there is a lesson. And I think this is going to teach kids now going through this, even though it's very, very tough. I think the positive out of this COVID, if there's anything, is that it's going to teach these kids and these children how to be able to switch up what they need to do immediately, right? And
Hmm.
understand that path or whatever you have going on in your head that you think is going to go a certain way, it can change like that in 2 seconds. And so
yeah,
now you need to be able to
Need a
adapt,
plan
right?
B.
Yes,
Hmm.
yeah.
yes, yes. And
You know,
so, people who are our age and our generation, we were taught it's the same thing that EJ was saying. You go to college, I mean, you finish high school, you
go
go
to
to
college.
college. If you go to college, you can get a good job, you get a good job, you can get a house, you can get married, have kids. It was sort of pinpointed through that timeline. And
Right.
for people in our generation, in our time frame, if one of those things became missing, throw your whole life off. It
Whole
could
life
be
off.
drugs,
Mm,
it could be
right,
alcohol,
right,
it could be so
right.
many
Mm-hmm.
things. So
Yeah,
in this instance, it can easily be, you know what? Okay, now I see the world doesn't look like the way I thought it was going to be. How can I
Right.
get through this? So if it happens again, let me say, Myra's going to be a teenager. So if it happens by the time she graduates college, she's already had this
She's
experience.
ready.
It's going to
right.
allow her to transition a whole lot quicker. And
Yeah.
so they won't be stifled and it's going to make them stronger individuals.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Also,
Right.
Nietzsche, I always like what Nietzsche says when she says she's a jack of all trades, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a phenomenal statement to say because with our children, they have to learn how to have two different worlds. For me, I always wanted to be a mental health clinician. I went to college and I did that, but I also ventured into the acting. Right. So you get into the acting and you find yourself shining, but guess what happens when everything stops with
It
film?
stops. Everything stops. The
So now
world
Hmm.
you're back.
stops.
So now you're back to your education. You're back to the
Yep.
foundation, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm thankful for that. You know what I mean? That's
At least
something
you
that we
have
have.
one.
Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah, yeah.
mhm, mhm.
That was the message that I was trying to. When I did a television interview in Columbus last year, and I
Hmm.
was explaining that it's nothing wrong with playing sports, but what happens when sports stop or something
What
like
happened
this
when you broke?
happens?
When your leg broke?
When your leg break, if you break your leg, break your arm, several
What are you gonna
concussions,
do?
what are you
Hmm.
gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, like Lawrence said, this goes back to what Lawrence is saying. You got to have a platform, and we have to plant that seed now with our children and show them
Absolutely.
at this age now. So, yeah, I think what you're doing, Doctor Christy Black Morrell, is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yes,
I just
Thank you.
want to tell
Thank
yes.
you.
you,
Yeah.
I'm
So
proud of you. I'm sorry.
yeah. So we just want to thank you for coming on to our
Thank
show.
you so much.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
To
having
Christy.
tell
me.
us about your book. I'm gonna
Yes,
go and go out to your website and purchase some books. Because I like to read.
Woohoo!
I do like to read.
my daughter like to read too.
Yeah, but she can't read the books. I'm a book reader.
No, those
Not
grown
yet,
folks
not
can't
yet,
read
No,
not
books.
yet,
no,
not yet.
no. I'm not ready for that yet.
Them PG there's no PG-13 books.
See, no, no,
There's
no, no.
Oh,
So,
adult books. It's grown
so
folk
for
books.
so for those that
grown
would
folk
like to
business.
purchase her book, please purchase her book at www.cblackexpressions.com and go out. You can see all of her books out there. Is a nice little website that you can go out there and
Yes.
purchase her books. or you can follow her on Facebook, Instagram, also too, right?
All of it. Facebook,
Okay.
Instagram, Twitter, all the
Well, there
above.
you go.
Perfect.
There you go. And you have a awesome weekend. And I hope
Y'all
that
do
you
Absolutely.
the
stay and
same.
watch the rest of our show as we about to
Yes.
segue because it your book with the trilogy of your book that
Uh-huh.
you have is
Uh,
actually a good segue into
it is.
today's
Yeah.
conversation. So
All
thank
right.
you
Well,
again, and you have
you're
Thanks
welcome.
again.
a
Thank
wonderful
you for having me.
weekend. Many
Proud of you,
pieces and
Christy.
blessings
Proud of
to
you,
you.
Christy. Proud of you, girl.
Much love.
Absolutely.
All
Bright
right.
light.
All
Bright
Wow.
right.
light. Had to throw
So
that out.
that was some good
Yes, it
information
was.
It
Yes, it
really
from
was.
was.
Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Christy Black Merle. Because I don't think we have enough children books for what's going on right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're about to get into it. We're about to get into it. Hey, hey,
Boop, boop,
hey,
boop, boop,
hey.
boop, boop.
So the question of the day is, do you think that some, and I had to say some because I don't like to generalize and get everybody in the same, um, you know, you know how you say men do such and such, and they say, "Oh no, that's not all men. It's some men." So
Oh yeah, yeah.
I had to go back and change my wording when I was creating the thing. Do you think that some women are too strong for some men? Like,
Ooh.
you know,
Mm.
you have your alpha females and you have your aggressive, passive aggressive
Yeah,
females.
yeah. I understand
Okay,
that. Yeah.
alpha
Hmm.
females and passive aggressive females. I think they're two
Oh,
totally
they
different
are.
type of
Separate.
women.
Two
Okay,
types.
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
then you just have the what they call the lesser of the female, which I'm not sure what that means, but I guess that's somebody that lets you do whatever you want to do, how you do it, as long as you're still there. But my question was, with that being said, do you think that some women are deemed too strong for some men because of their upbringing, or probably because of things that they've done happened
Mm.
to them in their past?
I'm
EJ,
gonna
you
go
want
with
to
B. I'm gonna go with B.
Because of
Sometimes you,
what
yeah,
they've been through in their past?
right, right. Sometimes you can go through a traumatic experience and you come into the next relationship or you're approaching the next relationship like I refuse to let that happen. So your mentality is probably a little aggressive.
But is that
It could be.
baggage?
Yes, it could be. That's why I've always suggested to just anybody, make sure you've healed from your previous relationship because when you bring that baggage into the current situation that you're trying to start, you will run into oh, she's too strong or she's too aggressive or whatever, not knowing that she's dealt with something from a previous relationship. So yeah, it depends. There's so many
Mm.
ways to look at that. So many ways to look at that.
So
I
I want to
think
flip it
I
a little bit. I'm going to flip it a little bit. I'm going to
Okay,
say I think it may start off as a personality, right?
okay, okay.
From now, I understand what EJ's saying from a point of where you're growing up at a certain point, and then you have a relationship, and then you don't want the same thing to happen to you in that relationship. Let's say relationship A, right? So the next time you're just overly aggressive and you're
Yeah.
overly this, overly to the next guy. The next guy's like, "What the hell?" But at the same time, it initially it comes from that personality. I know a whole bunch of strong black women from for different reasons. Then they get into those relationships where they may sort of, I'm not going to say taper down a little bit, but they may not say a lot of things up front. So they hold that resentment and things in their head. So then all of a sudden it just comes out,
Right.
all at once. And then you go to that next relationship, and then she's like, well, nope, everything I'm going to say right now, I'm going to say it out loud. So I
Right.
think
Right.
it starts off as a personality made from, what upbringing. Maybe they were from a single mom. Maybe they saw their mom have multiple boyfriends, or maybe they
Mhm.
saw their mom with one guy who treated them, who treated her, wrong, or something like that. Or maybe their mother wasn't in the picture at all, and they was raised by the grandmother, and so they didn't have that image of what a good positive relationship is. So I think it starts off personality wise, and then it develops into other scenarios that branch
Right.
off.
Right.
So you think a alpha female is a negative thing?
No. I don't think so at all.
And the reason I said it is because Lauren said it you just said something that you used the word negative. I think you used the word negative. So
Maybe. I'm not sure.
So I'm trying to say, do you think that an alpha female is a negative female?
I don't think she's. I don't think it's negative, but I think if you're not careful with the way that you are being an alpha female, it can be a negative towards building a positive relationship.
Right.
If you don't have that conversation to say, hey, this is how I am, right? I am this, I am strong, I am this, but I want to have that open dialogue with you so that you can either get I don't want to say beta male, but you can get a male that's not necessarily going to be an alpha with you as well, but maybe a little bit subservient to you, right? But you can't say, I know what you're about to say. I know what you're about to say.
We already know where this is going. You already know where this is going.
Is not going to work because you can't say that you want to be an alpha female and then all of a sudden you're going to want this man to be like, well, I want him to take charge. You can't have both.
No. You can't. You can't. No. No. Hold on. Time out. I call flag on the play, and I don't even.
Okay. All right.
Let's go.
That is not the truth. You can be an alpha female, and with the right alpha male, you can be submissive to that male. You can be.
It just doesn't happen often. That's what I'm saying.
Because a lot of times there's not alpha females and males don't always find each other for whatever the reason.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right, but that goes back to what Lawrence was saying is based on like the personality.
Listen here, I'm 10 toes down. I am an alpha female in
nothing
every
wrong with that.
way.
Nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that. But if that personality comes across as too aggressive and too strong, that alpha male that's sitting on the other side of the table, that would be a turnoff. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
But,
nothing wrong with it.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is with the right alpha male, she will become submissive to him. I'm not saying submissive as in Motisa submissive or Becky girl submissive. I'm not talking about that kind. I'm talking about she will allow him to be the man in the relationship.
You gotta get to that point.
But when? And then it's going to be on her timetable.
No, it won't. Well, for me. But let me tell you. For me. Okay, I will let you be the man. I will let you be the man until
at times.
No. I will let you be the man until you show that you are not a leader. When you're not a leader and I start interjecting, don't come back to me and say, hey, let me do this, let me be the man. No, I allowed you to be the man and you didn't do what you needed to do. So therefore
you allowed me.
You allowed
me to be a man. What do you mean you allowed me?
Because I stepped back. Because I stepped back. Because I stepped back and I'm gonna let you be the man.
Oh, okay. So today,
when do we get
I'm not trying to be the man. I'm not trying to be the man in my relationship.
So today I get to be the man.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm allowed to be the man on Christmas because I'm about a Christmas gift because that's when I'm a man. And
child, please, I don't need you to buy me nothing for Christmas. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't need you to buy me anything for Christmas.
She don't need you to buy her shit.
Okay.
I don't, but I don't. I don't need you. I want you. I don't need to have you. I want you. There's a big difference. Needing somebody and wanting somebody, that is totally two different things. Okay. Two different things.
I gotta
but there are also times that I need you. Okay? And when I need you to show up when I say I need you.
But if you're coming across as aggressive and you're making that the headlight of
first of all, First of all, alpha females don't always come off aggressive. So y'all need to get that stereotype out your head right now.
If it sounds like that at the beginning,
no. That's like me saying all beta men are punks.
All who?
All beta men are punks.
No, that's not it.
That's like me saying that. So don't ever say that all alpha females are bitches because that's what you're coming off and saying.
No. I'm not saying that. There is a reason why. There is a reason why A, they're called alpha for a reason, and
Right.
B, the reason why they're called beta. There are reasons why they're called that.
Exactly.
Because if you're an alpha, and I will let the clinician EJ Alexander explain this in a second, because I'm sure that he's way more aware of that than I am. But when you are an alpha, that means that you're going to be the one that's going to be more in control. You're the one that's going to be the one that's going to, for 90 or 95% of that relationship, the one that's calling the shots. And listen, I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with that, and I'm not saying that there's nothing wrong with being a beta man. That doesn't mean anything. As long as that relationship is working for you,
Yes,
that is
yes.
fine.
Right.
But
Yes.
when you
And I
have
totally
two alpha
agree with
people,
that.
but when you have two alpha people, someone is going to want to be in control.
Didn't
And
I
unless
just say that?
you
I
did,
legit just
I
say
knew
that.
you
And I
did.
said, and then I expounded on it. I said, with the right alpha female, with the right alpha male, she will become submissive. Did I not say that?
You did, but
Thank
you
you.
did. But if she comes submissive, does that still make her a alpha female?
Yes, it
Right.
does.
Elaborate.
Okay.
Because she's still the neck. See, the men are the head of the family, right?
Oh, are they?
Yes,
Okay.
they are.
Yeah.
The men are the
Huh.
head of they are the head
Okay. This is
of the
good.
household, correct?
Huh. Oh no, no, no.
No,
I'm
I'm
asking.
asking you. I'm
Oh
asking
no,
you. No, give me a yes or no. Men are the head of the household.
oh, I'm sorry. So I would have
Hold
to
on, hold
not
on, hold
directly.
on. Caveat: I'm not talking about safe sex. Safe sex.
Oh,
Same
sex
sex.
acts. We're not talking.
I'm not talking about same. I'm talking about
Right.
traditional
Sure.
marriages.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
They say the
So
man
men are the head of the
traditional,
men are the
or the
head of the household, right?
and what I'm going to say
Stop.
is
I
that
need
that's
a
there
yes or
traditional.
no.
It's
I
Yes or no.
I cannot
All I need is a yes or no. If you
and I
can't say
can't
yes
give
or
you.
no, if you can't
thank
say
you.
yes or no, just don't say nothing at all because I'm still making my point. All right. So men are
Okay. So what I'm saying,
traditionally men are the head of household, but
correct.
the
Tradition.
woman,
That's correct.
the wife, is the neck that makes the head turn.
That's
Okay.
true.
Oh Lord
That's
Jesus.
true. Oh,
Oh my God.
you are left. You are left.
I
Okay.
can't. I
All we
can't.
gotta
I
do is
can't.
like,
I can't.
Listen. Listen.
am
Oh, that
I
made
lying?
me laugh.
You're
That
not
made
lying.
me laugh.
Thank
God,
you.
Man.
oh my shit. I
Oh
cannot.
my God.
Okay, that made me laugh.
Hallelujah.
So the woman is the net that controls how everything in the relationship turns.
Okay.
I
I
see
didn't
what you
say
did
that.
there.
I
Oh, I
didn't say
caught it. Oh, I caught it. That's what you said. Oh, I caught it. I appreciate it. I
All
appreciate
I'm
it.
saying, the only thing I will say is, Nietzsche, let's be clear. We are not disagreeing with what you're okay? For our viewers that's out there, no one's calling nobody bitches. None of that. We're not doing that.
Or
We did
hoes.
not
Or
say
hoes.
that. Or hoes. We did not say that for our viewers, Mitra. All I'm saying is, all I'm saying is, when you get, if you're an alpha male, as a man personally, I think as an alpha female, I think that's a beautiful thing. I
I
think that's
know.
a
It's
phenomenal
sexy,
thing.
ain't
I think it's very sexy. However,
it?
however,
Okay, Cardi.
if you yeah, if your approach and your delivery is over extra, because I don't want to say aggressive, I don't want to use that. If it's over extra, that can turn a
If
man
it's
off.
belittling.
I like that phrase.
If
Over
it's
extra.
belittling.
If it's belittling, I don't
I
have a
like
problem with you being an alpha male. I mean, alpha female. Because if I'm an alpha male, I'm confident in what I have. I have my strength. You have your strength. I'm looking at building this together. But if
Exactly.
your approach is over extra and it's belittling, like Mr. Brooks was saying, that's the turnoff. And we can't
and
get
it can turn that way, and that's it can turn that way on a dime as soon as somebody disagrees with a topic when they feel that
Well,
they
then
should
that
be.
means they are not emotionally mature.
Agreed.
okay.
That they
Agreed.
can't talk as an adult and express themselves in a manner in which they can agree to disagree.
Sure, sure. And again, that goes a whole down a list of things that could
Hey,
be wrong,
Bruce,
right?
we missed you last week.
Oh, Bruce is hanging in there with us.
So what I'm saying is that I think it start going into those spectrums of different relationships, right?
Right.
So again, I think you do have some men who may be alpha, but they like that woman so much, and they could be in a relationship that they just controlled everything, they did everything, and all that woman did was go blah 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 blah. They couldn't do anything right. They couldn't do anything. Everything they
Right.
did was wrong. Everything they touched went to shit. So
Right.
it could be a positive thing to get with someone like Nitra, who is an alpha female. She gets her shit done. She does what she needs to do. She doesn't wait for no man. And so that man can come
I
into
don't like
that
the way you just
relationship.
described me.
That's a good way. But,
It was a
but
goddamn compliment. You gonna take my compliments and like them.
Okay, I like it. I like it. I like it. I
Okay.
like it.
Don't make me come and smack that ass.
Make sure you bring your mask.
Listen, hey, safety first. Always safety first. Hey, there's a message out there, guys. If you're gonna do it,
Yes.
bring a mask.
But don't.
But I shut up, you. But I think it's key that you have to find those little bitty idiosyncrasies to make it, and it will eventually click. I wish that people would take more time to figure out how those pieces and puzzles work. Right? I think now that we live in such a microwave society, everybody wants it to be like this. Like, look, bastard, I'm giving you 60 days to get your shit together, or this ain't gonna work, right? And then they start looking at signs. Oh, but this a punk motherfucker. Every time I say something to him, he wants to do it. It can go down that road quick. I think opening up, having that communication. I think having two alpha people as a power couple. I mean, that is
sexy,
powerful stuff to get
Let me tell
those
you
two
something.
together.
There's nothing wrong with an alpha male that is a professional that has some thug tendencies. Okay.
Oh Lord, here we
that
go.
can provide great, amazing sex.
Oh God. But how do you get to
And
that
knows
point?
how to air this bitch out at any time necessary. All right.
Now I don't know what you mean by air out, but I'll just say okay.
We just
No,
gonna say okay.
when I
We
say
gonna
air out, I mean like if his home ain't right, if somebody's threatening his home, his safety, his mindset, any of that stuff, need to be able to check you, and you need to be able to check him, and y'all need to be checkable. Look, ain't nothing wrong.
Ain't nobody trying to be. Hold on one second.
No,
This 2020. This 2020. Don't nobody want to be checked, boo.
Right.
Listen here, Sheree.
Ain't nobody trying to be checked.
But you gotta be, no, because that holds accountability, though.
It does.
Come on now, you can't be out in public showing your ass, and then they be like,
yeah, but who the one?
Sit down.
Listen. We didn't both seen or know where when you have people who have episodes out in public, who's having the episode?
Who having the episode? Because I don't know.
Oh, you don't know?
No.
9 times out of 10.
One thing I don't do, I don't show my ass in public.
Oh no, you show it at home.
I'm here
You're
to
Clinton,
baby. We standing 10 toes down in public, and when we get home, we gonna fuss. But once we cross that threshold of that bedroom, we ain't bring that shit in the bedroom. No sir, no sir.
See, but
other stuff going on in there.
I got you. I hear you. I feel it. I got you. I'm with you. But I think that mentality is such a small.
And it might be.
Portion
I can agree
our
with that.
population, and I think that you may get a dude that on the surface is like, damn, she's really spitting some game to me. I'm like, damn, I need to talk to her a little bit more. And then I always talk about that onion. As soon as you start peeling
you're
back
right,
that
because my ex-husband was like that. He said,
damn.
what? No. He told me. He said, he said my mouth was what attracted him to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But then he couldn't take it no more. So I'm like, but this is how you met me. I haven't changed. My mouth hasn't changed. My mouth has toned down because I won't talk to you certain ways that I would talk to somebody random.
So maybe that wasn't the reason.
I don't know.
That
Well,
was
hold on one
What I
second.
what I what I will tell you is he pissed me off one time, and this was after we were separated. And I told him stop being the bitch. I feel like I'm the nigga and you the bitch in this relationship right
but see, that's
now.
different. That's different. That's different.
Look at Lawrence.
That's different. That's a totally different situation. I'm saying is when you started from the origin of the relationship, when you're trying to start it out from the beginning, there's nothing wrong with being an alpha female. I think that's great. I think that's beautiful. I think that's a phenomenal thing because any man that's successful should want a woman that's equally successful as well.
But
No
here's the
matter,
but here's the
but
thing. When you
hold
meet
on.
me, you won't know that I'm an alpha female because
You don't know, but that's the purpose.
I don't come out and be like,
I don't know.
I
I
don't
don't
do
know.
that.
I don't know. I think you do.
I don't.
I
I
think you
don't.
will.
I don't.
I think you may not do it
Mm-mm.
on the first date, but like Lauren says, that onion, as you peel that onion, you're gonna see it. And it may be the second or third day. It may not be the first.
Only if you're testing me to see if you can get a rise out of me out of certain things. Because I've had guys to try to get a
But what
rise
if I'm
out
not
of
even
me.
trying to get a rise out of you and I make a
You
statement
know,
and you don't see all
You
the
know when
statement?
somebody's trying to get a rise out of you. You
Well,
know
that's
when
not
Well, maybe they're
somebody.
important.
just trying. Maybe they're just trying to see exactly who you are.
All right. I'm
By
just trying
trying
to
to
see where you
see.
are.
By
Yeah, but
trying to
still,
see.
Because let me,
even with
They're
that,
doing it wrong.
even
They're doing it wrong when they fool with
right.
Nitra. That's not
no,
how
no,
you
no,
do
no.
it.
Even with that, I'm still not gonna hand you your ass on a platter. I'm still not gonna do that.
Mm,
That's you.
mm.
That is not me.
No. That's you. I'm saying you're that type of person. There's
That's
some
what
of
I'm
the other
saying. I
females
can
that's not
only
like
speak for myself. Are
Sure,
y'all not
sure.
that.
listening to the words that is coming out of my mouth? I said I can only speak for myself.
You
I
said it.
don't come off as a aggressive. I never come off as an aggressive alpha person because I'm not. Because guess what? That's a lot of energy. It's a whole lot of energy going on right there, and I'm not trying to give somebody that ain't really there for me all of that energy because it's draining.
I give it to you. I will say that to you. You know, when you're
No,
starting
because
out,
I'll stop talking to you. I will. It's been a couple of guys that I've met, and this one dude, he was like, I went on a cruise for 2 weeks, and he happened to call me while I was getting into bed around 11 o'clock at night, and he was like, "Hey, baby, I ain't heard from you all day. I was just calling to check on you. Da, 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 da. Where you
Yeah.
at? Where you at, baby?" I said, "I'm still out of the state. I'm not home yet." "Oh, okay." I said, "You know what? Let me call you right back. I'll call you back." He said, "Oh, okay." I hung up on the phone and went to sleep. I was back in my bed. Dude, come on now. Like, no, like, I don't
Okay.
like needy people. Like,
Right.
ew,
Do
stop.
me a favor. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. Pull up Bruce's
Alpha
alpha females
females are the
are
best
the best
partners.
partners. Okay, pull it up. Bruce, alpha females are the best partners because with the right man, she loves to show a side she would never show
That's the
the world.
part. See, you know what, Bruce? I love you because that
Bring
is
it.
what I've been trying to
Bring it.
tell my two knuckleheaded friends on this
No,
show.
I listen.
Yes.
No, I get that. I get
and we have been saying that
saying this
we
for the
get
whole time.
that.
Right. I get it. I totally get it. The bottom line is if the presentation is over extra, that is a turnoff.
That is
Majority
what
of alpha
That's what
females
I'm
are not going to
saying.
show you that they are alpha
So I will
females.
ask you this question. I'll ask you this
Okay.
question.
I
I think
don't
it's a very
know.
good
I
point.
don't
So
know.
I ask you this question. When
Do
does
you?
it come out?
Whoa, stop. Do you know any alpha females that just come out the gate raw when you first met them?
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Yes. Yes, the hell I
Hell yeah. And then
do.
add and don't
Are you
hold on.
serious?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Well,
Yes.
I'll be
Yes.
damned.
Hold up. Hold up. And I want to
100%.
I want to say this. Don't let that female don't let her been done came out of a relationship
Oh shit.
prior to meeting
Then
you.
that's negative energy. That's just negative energy.
If she came out of a relationship that was rough, where
Oh
she wasn't
my.
able to be who she wanted to be, and she couldn't be that alpha female, she gonna give you hell.
No, that's
On the
negative.
freaking, that's
That's
not
negative
everybody.
energy.
I'm not saying that.
And
Yes, no.
anyway, let me just say this.
I'm
That
telling you.
doesn't mean that she's an alpha female because she's giving you hell. That means she's hurt. That means
Okay.
she's hurt and she got a whole bunch of baggage and she needs to take self inventory and sit her ass down in the corner for about a year and get herself together. That doesn't necessarily mean that she's an alpha female. That means that sister is hurting.
No. But she
That poor
established.
thing. But because we don't know when you gonna be this alpha female until a month into the relationship, how the hell will we know it in the beginning?
Thank you, Jesus. Come on, Brooks. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You can
I
know that
totally agree.
you can know that a female is an alpha female by what she does and stuff.
Please tell the audience.
Tell
How
us.
would
Tell the
they know
audience.
that? Please. I'm listening. This is fascinating. All right, Nietzsche, go.
Shut up.
I love what Bruce.
Shut up.
Let's go, Nietzsche.
Listen, I'm just saying. I think
She doesn't have
again.
to. She doesn't have to come off aggressive all the time, though.
But
y'all
how
making.
would? But how do? Listen, this is the same way the book is. Women Mars or Men Venus or whatever the hell the damn book is called.
So if I ask you to do something and I say, "Hey, Lawrence,
Mm-hmm.
can you do X, Y, and Z?"
Mm-hmm.
and you don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna come back to you like I asked you 2 weeks ago to do something. No,
You won't say it out loud. You won't say it out loud, but you said
I'm gonna go
it.
ahead and get it done. I'm gonna go ahead and get it done.
You've
But
gone ahead and got it done, but you said it in your head. So that conversation that you did not have with that man, you've had that conversation.
it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. The point is that I did not exhibit it to him in a negative way.
And
Do you
that's
not understand that?
100%. But that is the problem. You've had the conversation. You
No,
just
but because it might have been something that I could have just did on my own anyway. I just asked you to do it. You got to understand, just because I asked you to do something doesn't necessarily mean I can't do it myself. I just want you to do it
Why would you want me to do it?
because I'm asking you to.
And then I say no, and then what
No, no,
happens?
no, no. You don't say no. You say, okay, I'll do it.
Oh, and then I don't.
And then you never do it. It takes you
What?
2 weeks.
Okay, that's different. Okay, that's different.
I'm sorry.
That's the point that I'm making.
Okay,
It's not that I cannot physically do it. I just asked you, hey, could you do this for me?
Okay.
And you say, okay.
Yeah, baby, I'll do it. There's no problem. Yeah, and then I don't.
Yeah.
Everybody has a right to be pissed at that.
No, and you don't even have to be pissed about it because it didn't get done. You don't even have to be annoyed about it. And this is what I'm trying to get you. You don't have to be in a negative spot when somebody doesn't do something for you.
I'm going to tell you right now, the majority of the females that I know have that conversation in their head. And they
probably do. But it's how you show it on the outside that counts. You can be cussing his ass out the whole damn time.
But why don't you cuss him out so he'll know how?
Because sometimes it's not what you need to do at that. You're fighting a small battle. Why fighting this battle when there's bigger things that you need to take? That you need to possibly get done.
I got
so if you sit up here fussing about every little goddamn thing that happens, he gonna be like, all you do is fucking nag and bitch and complain. Nobody wants to hear that is negative energy. Nobody wants to hear that all the time.
Right, but like you said, if you ask a person to do something, if you ask a guy to do something and the guy doesn't do it, if he says he's going to do it and he doesn't do it, that's different. Yeah. Versus a guy just flat out saying he's going to do it and then he just doesn't do it. If that makes sense. But you understand what I'm saying? Like if you say, listen, I want you to do this for me, I say, no, I'm not doing that. That's different than me saying, yes, I'm going to do it, and then I don't do it. Now,
thank you, Stacy, because we pick and choose our battles.
But why?
Why?
Do you want Sabrina arguing with you all the damn time?
No.
You don't. Then why the hell would you ask me? Why would we pick and choose?
Because what happens?
I'm not talking to you. Hold on. Come on, talk to the married old man.
Oh, because it ain't me.
No, it ain't you.
Because
so do you really want Sabrina coming in there? You had a hard day. You had 20 cases per day. I don't know how many of your caseloads is that. You had 20 cases. You're like before COVID-19, you'd be out till 11 o'clock at night trying to get stuff done. And then you get home, you're tired, you really haven't eaten like you should have. And Sabrina's sitting up here nagging about why you didn't change the light bulb.
She wouldn't do that.
I didn't say she wouldn't.
You said an example.
I'm using it as an example.
If she's coming across as aggressive and
No, no, no,
yelling,
no. I didn't
no,
say she was.
that's enough.
Well, I didn't say she was aggressive. I said she came to you and she was complaining about the what you call it. I didn't say she was
I would do it.
aggressive.
I would do it.
No, you didn't do it. No, you
I
did
would.
not do it. You didn't
Okay.
do it. But you're
Well,
tired. I'm giving you a scenario,
right.
and
If
this
she,
happened for a week straight.
right.
That is annoying.
So if she does it herself, that's okay.
That's not even. Don't look. Don't try to go around what I just
I'm
said.
not
I
going
gave you
wrong.
a straight
I
up.
want to answer the question.
The thing is, you said why not tell him that you didn't like something.
Okay.
That is a battle. You fight about war stuff. You don't fight about battle stuff. But if she's sitting up here nagging, oh Ursula, you didn't take the trash out, and then the next night, oh Ursula, you didn't change the light bulb, and then the next night, oh Ursula, you didn't get Amaria her soccer shoes, and then the next night, you're gonna be like, oh my god, like, can you like not? Can you do some of this stuff? Like,
Right. That's different.
that
That's
is a
different.
battle.
That's
That's some shit she could have did her damn self.
right. That's true.
Okay,
But
but it goes back to you asking, well, why don't you tell him that? Would you want to hear it?
yes.
No, you wouldn't. Not
Yes,
if you
I
had a hard
would.
day. No, you wouldn't. Not
It
if you
wouldn't
had a
bother me.
hard
I'm
day.
just saying, I can't speak for another guy, but no, for me personally,
No,
don't
you
tell
wouldn't.
me. It wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, it wouldn't. For me, it wouldn't. For me, I can't speak for anybody else, but for me, it wouldn't.
Okay.
Can I say?
Yeah,
Can I say
Yes, single man.
that's for me.
Okay. All right.
It's worked for 15 years.
What I think, and as being the single person that I ain't been married, so I understand this. And my understanding from speaking to a lot of women who have been in these scenarios that Miss Nitra has brought up, what happens is that they save those little bitty things. That's what I'm saying. So in their mind, even though they haven't said those that nagging sort of feel, right, like you're saying every day, like, why didn't you take out the trash? Why didn't you do this? Why? So what happens is, excuse me, even though you're not saying it, you're keeping a ticker in your head until it's going to be something that very
I see
minute.
where you're going with this.
Maybe I forgot to put gas in the car, or maybe I supposed to go to the store and get Raisin Bran, but instead I got
And then
special
she
cake.
just starts saying, "You didn't do
And,
this. You this
And then
this
it
and
just
that." Yeah,
happens.
and the
and then
man is
that's
sitting there
just
like,
and
what
then
the hell just
What
happened?
happened?
yes, you do have you have men like that too.
Yeah,
You
that's
have
true.
men like
Oh,
that
100.
too.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah.
but
Yeah.
again, to me, that is the pettiness. That's not even a battle. That is pettiness when you have tickers, as you called it, check marks, tally marks
Mhm.
on what somebody didn't do
Mhm.
versus it was something that you could have done and not been upset about. That is the pettiness. Okay? That's not even a battle. That's just your ass being petty. You really don't have nothing to argue about. You just want to fucking argue about something dumb because there's some shit that you could have did your damn self.
Yeah.
See, for me, I like communication. I want you to tell me today when I done fucked up. Don't tell me tomorrow. Don't tell me
Whoa,
Saturday.
whoa. Now,
Right.
Don't tell me a week from now.
but
Tell me so
but
I can.
you
So at
fucking
least I can
up.
be
No,
cognizant.
but you
At least I
fucking
can be
up is
cognizant of
not
what
the
I'm doing
same
wrong.
as. But you fucking up is not the same as I asked you to do something that I could have did myself. That's not a fuck up if I could do it myself. To
But
me,
okay,
that's
I got
not
you.
a fuck up.
I
Again,
got
it goes back
you.
to I could have done it. I just didn't want to do it, so I asked you to do it. That's
And
not a
then
fuck up.
but what? Well,
Okay. See, the thing
I,
is,
I I think.
if I
Well,
say,
I'm not gonna
But
say.
then you're gonna say she
if
being
I-
too aggressive and she an alpha female because it's like, well, I asked you to do this last week, but you didn't do it. Okay, but that's okay. I did it.
nothing wrong with that. But your
So
delivery,
if you're okay with that,
Your
if you're
delivery
okay
is
with that,
everything in every
yeah,
situation.
oh,
right.
that's
So
true.
In
if
every
you come across,
situation.
if you're coming across, like I said, if you're coming, it depends on the delivery. I say if you're coming across a certain type of way, that's going to determine the reaction you get out of the guy. I'm gonna be honest. That's just my
Okay,
honest.
so what if you just going ham, right?
Well,
And
if
you're
you're
like,
going to you saying the guy or the girl?
no, the female is going ham, and she's like, you know what? I asked you to take out the trash last week. You didn't do it. I asked you to change the light bulb in the car. You didn't do it. I asked you to take my car to go get washed. You didn't do it. You know
You
what?
don't do
You just a
shit. You don't
sorry
do shit.
motherfucker.
You a sorry.
Your mama should have swallowed your ass when she had the chance, but she didn't.
At that point, that brother need to get up and run.
And
He
then
need
all he does is be like, all right,
You know
all
what?
right.
I don't
I
care
will
what you
say.
say.
I
I
will.
hear what you're
I
saying,
will
Shawty.
say this.
Or
I'm going.
he'll say, who the fuck you talking to? Like,
Yeah.
I will tell
Shawty,
you. I will say, dudes have a ticker as well.
yeah.
But
they
I will
do.
say, dudes have tickers as well. But their tickers are different.
Hey
Oh,
Sherry. Hey Sherry. I'm sorry, I had to say
of
that.
course
Sherry.
their tickers are
Their tickers are
different.
different. A dude will sit back and be like, all right, man, she'll come down in a minute. All right, let
Yeah.
me just sit here for a second. I'll look all right. And, she'll come, she'll be mad. She'll
I
go
put
into her
this dick
room.
up in her, she'll be all
Yeah.
right.
Well, I don't even want to say.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on. Let me push pause on that. I don't know why guys think that is the answer to every
Cause it's
single
work.
thing. Because
Because
I'm telling
it
you,
It's
I
work.
usually,
don't know
because
too
it
It's
many
work.
usually
females.
fucking works.
Work.
Hold
It
on.
works.
Because I know
It's
too
work.
many females that say, I ain't worried about it. I just put this pussy in his mouth. He'll be all
Yeah.
right.
That's what happens. That's what happens when you get mad. And you be like, shut up, nigga, get this pussy. Shut up.
I already told you. Once we cross the threshold of the bedroom, all that shit stay outside.
So if we have an
It's
argument in
going
the kitchen
down.
about that, all I gotta do is just push you in the bedroom, we'll be over it, right?
Yep. And then when we come out the bedroom, we be back to square one.
I'm not going out the bedroom at that point.
Yeah, you are.
I'm
No,
not
you
going.
gonna
You
stay
gotta.
right here in this
You gonna
room.
stay right there.
We staying right here. We
We
staying
ain't
right
going
here
out.
until this
And
fan
I'm
break and we
cool
put
with
a hole in
that.
the
We can
wall.
go a couple of
I'm gonna
rounds.
have food. I'm gonna keep some food in the bedroom
Hey,
so we don't
Lawrence,
have to go out.
Lawrence, you better tell EJ. I already got a refrigerator in my room.
So the problem's resolved. If we get in an argument in the
And
living
it's
room,
not. And it's
I'm gonna tell you to hush your mouth and I'm gonna push you in the bedroom and it's over.
Listen to what Lawrence said. Tell him again.
she got some good shit stocked in her refrigerator.
So, so the issue
She ain't got
resolved.
all she missing is a hot plate.
That's it. So at that point,
Yeah, right up in there. You
That's
can
right,
live in there.
Sherry.
so
Quarantine in the bedroom. It's going
Sherry,
down.
that's my girl Sherry. That's my girl
Hey,
Sherry.
It's
guess
Sherry.
what?
going
That's
down in the bedroom, Sherry.
Sherry.
you just solved all the world's problems. That's it.
So now I'm an alpha female and I'm a Scorpio. So what you think about to happen?
As long as you got some food in there, we good to go. We can figure that out. If
In
you
that case,
if we have an argument in the living room or we have a argument in the garage, all I got to do is get her to the bedroom and it's over.
It's over.
That's it.
Pull out my bag of tricks on your ass.
Well, see, so I don't have to worry about the trash at that point, and the car ain't so dirty no more.
be like, yes, baby, yes, baby.
Car not dirty no more. The trash, don't worry about the trash. Trash overflowing in the kitchen.
Y'all are full of shit.
You ain't got no gas in the car.
Full of
Nothing like
shit.
that. All of a sudden, it's not a bad idea that I didn't put gas in the car. I just
Nope.
pushed you to the bathroom.
Oh,
Yep.
wait a minute. So that mean when I want some ass, all I gotta do is be like, I ain't gonna put no gas in her car. I'm not gonna take the trash out because I know next Saturday she gonna be real mad.
No. Because
No, no,
you
Oh, it
gonna
don't work
get
that way.
you gonna get this ass all the time. Because trust and believe, if I touch you, you better be prepared.
this is too much for my virgin
I'm
ears.
just saying. I'm just
Too much
saying.
for my virgin ears. So all
I'm
I'm
just
saying,
saying.
That's because you want it all the time. Ain't no girl be like, hey.
I do. If
Soon
it's
as you get in this
good,
room,
if it's
it's gonna happen every time. Every time you walk in this room, you better fucking tear my ass up. That ain't gonna happen.
wait a minute, not my
right,
ass. Hold on, wait a
Well, you know
minute.
what I mean. Don't you
right.
goddamn son of a.
So can we flip it to our viewers? Can we flip it to our viewers tonight? How do the men feel about a woman that's an alpha male?
A woman is not going to be an alpha male unless she's transgender. Okay.
Right.
You know what?
Well, he said, "How do you feel about a woman being an alpha male?"
How do men
You
feel
knew
about
what
that?
he meant.
Oh, Bruce said it's a powerful tool. If you know how to use it right, it is.
On that note,
Bruce, yes, Lord. Would you need some more wine, Erskine? What's going on?
I'm good. I'm so good. I,
Okay, Bruce said maturity and intelligence allows them to build a powerful partnership. Knowing how to communicate with each other is secret ingredient.
Oh,
right.
baby, one
That
hundred
is
percent,
Yeah,
fact.
one
and that's
hundred.
and that's right after he uses his powerful tool.
And that is how you end it. Boom,
Yep,
just like that.
It's like ended. But you know what? But I do think it takes communication. Like I said,
it
I mean,
does.
I've been married. This year going on 15 years, and just like any
Bless
couple,
your
we've
heart.
had. Yeah, I've had my ups and downs. We've had our ups and downs, but the agreement is that we want to work through it together.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's what makes it a difference. You spend the rest of your life trying to learn a person, and that's from when you're in your 20s to your 30s to your 40s to your 50s to your 60s. But it's an agreement that you both are willing to make for each other, and,
yeah.
that's
And
what makes the difference because you're not going to be on the same page all the time, and that's a given. But like you said, it's the maturity. You got to be mature enough to say, you know what, we can agree to disagree on this, or we can agree to disagree on that. So yeah, but that does take maturity though.
right,
Tracy, that's my
Tracy.
girl Tracy.
Tracy Adams said, I don't have a problem submitting to a man who knows what he wants personally and professionally and is actively busting his nuts to achieve it. A man who
Oh,
is sure of himself and sure about his feelings about me will get all of the 100% and freak out of me, period, dot. Period, poo, as Lawrence would say.
Ah,
period.
I was
And you
gonna
know
say
what?
Yes,
For our men that's
Tracy, I am with you 1000%.
Tracy,
And that
Tracy.
goes back to me saying yet again, an alpha female will submit to the right alpha. I mean, yeah, alpha male.
But what if you
Period.
say,
Pooh.
yeah, right, right. But what if you say, I don't think he's working hard enough. I don't think he's doing X, Y. Because you'll have some
Then you
females that
got okay.
no, no,
So
no, no,
okay. So
hold on, let me say this. Let me say this. You'll have some females, like she said, if a man is working hard, working hard, working hard, working hard, but let's say he doesn't make X amount of dollars that
so what
you
the hell is
feel.
she doing? What is she doing?
Hey, listen, I'm just saying
No,
what's out
no, no,
there.
no, no.
I
You
just said
gotta, you
no.
gotta give me a better scenario
Okay,
because if
okay.
she's saying that this man that's busting his ass and taking care of her every need, and she is saying that he's not doing enough, then she is a bum bitch, and he
Okay.
needs to leave her alone
But she
because she
fine.
has because
She took
I
him in the
don't give a
bedroom.
damn if she fired.
She
Let
took
me
him in
tell
the
you
she a
bedroom.
something.
freak.
Let
She
me
a
tell you
She
freak
a
something.
in
little,
the
she a
morning and
freak.
a
She's a
freak in
freak
the
in the
evening.
evening.
I
Come
can't
on
hear
now.
both of y'all. I can't hear both of y'all. What you
Yeah.
say?
Say it. She's a freak in the morning, freak in the
She's a
evening.
freak
She
in the
does
morning.
it in the bedroom.
Let me
So
tell
what
you
you
something.
say?
Let me tell you
What
something.
you say? So what you say?
Sex, and you not doing nothing else but giving him head and sex, he can get that from any damn where.
But she
Okay?
And
fine
I
though.
It don't matter if she fine. Beauty fades.
No, I
I
hear
don't
you.
care
I
how
hear
much
you.
plastic surgery she has gotten or is going to get. It
Okay.
fades. If you do not bring nothing to the table for the person that you are with, unless he's cool or she's cool with you sitting your ass at home doing nothing all day, that shit is going to get old. Because the reality of it is if anything happens to that person that is the sole provider, not being able to provide what that person that wasn't doing anything, you're gonna find out their true intentions because they're gonna fucking leave you. I don't give a damn if you don't think that I'm not providing enough. If as long as I know I'm busting my ass and it shows that I'm
Right.
providing and I'm doing everything possible to make whatever financial decisions, best practices going on. If you sit up there not doing shit, you can go kick fucking rocks. I don't care. First of all, I wouldn't even be with a person like that, so that's a whole nother story. But
But what if he got the two?
he's a fuck boy, okay? And I don't deal with fuck boys.
Okay. But that's you.
We're talking about me right now.
But it ain't about
You
you.
no 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 no. You said whatever he's whatever you just said.
No,
And no woman really wants no fuck boy. I'm just
Yes,
be
they do.
honest.
Yes, they
No,
do. It's a whole
they
bunch of
do.
them.
Come
Whole
on
bunch
now.
of them.
they
Come
they
on.
they
Whole bunch
Come
really
on now. I'm saying.
no. That's a
See,
facade.
the
No
thing
woman
is,
really
that
wants a fuck boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Nitra.
Here go Bruce. Bruce said his wife and him are both alpha people, and but to ask her who is king, see, that's why I like Bruce.
okay.
See,
I would agree with what Nitra just stated.
I totally agree with Bruce, and I
That
agree with everything with
that
Nick.
that a woman doesn't want a fuck boy, but what happens? She winds up with him.
There
yeah,
you go.
She may not start
that's because she
out that way.
digmatized.
Well,
But that's
hello.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But that's where
And we have
that's
to
what I'm
pray
saying.
for. We have to pray for her and to have
But
strength.
the same thing
Some-
goes for the men too. But the same thing goes for the men too. What happens when the guy sees this girl? She can't cook a biscuit. She can't
hey,
cook a tray, and but she got the booty and she got the hips and all this and this and that. So what is that?
A bum bitch. I just told you what
Okay.
it was.
oh,
But at the end of the day, there's still something that keeps him running towards her.
Maybe she got good head game. I don't know,
well,
but
you know what?
I couldn't be
But
with nobody like that.
that keep. I know. But what I'm saying is that's you got to look at it from two sides of the fence. Like you're saying, Bruce made that statement. Love, pull up his statement. My wife and I are both alpha people. Ask her who
Who
the
is
king
this
is and
saying the
make sure
government is
you
the
know.
alpha in? Okay, never mind.
Okay, my wife and I both are alpha people, but ask her who is the king of the chessboard in this house because I would be the first to tell you who the
Okay,
queen is on the board.
Albert wants a blow up doll, so I guess he or she
L-
is into blow up dolls.
Listen, nothing wrong with that because that dog ain't gonna say shit back to you unless it blows a hole and the air comes out of it. So I say, if you want to fuck a dog, go right ahead. It's better than having some nagging bitch in your ear all day.
For our viewers out here, we do not condone the decision that Lord just said. That was some foolery and fuckery that came out of Lawrence Brooks' mouth, Junior.
Wait a minute, why you got?
Please,
Why you gotta?
we do not condone that foolishness. No,
Hey, hey, I'm
Black
just
Lives
saying.
Matter and not dolls.
Lord have mercy, y'all are off
I
the
can't.
charts.
I
The
Okay,
question,
Tracy put one up. Go ahead and read it, Erskine.
okay. The question that I asked my ex all the time was that if I am carrying the majority load of the household by myself, and you are hanging out with the
No, read
boys,
it correctly. And
no, no,
you.
and you are hanging out with the boys and not spending time building our relationship, what do I need you for? Don't worry, I'll wait.
Yep. Which it sounds like that Tracy might have been a victim of a fuck boy. Can you stop flirting real quick? So, what do you think about
Well,
that?
oh
Come on,
wow.
spit it
Well,
out.
yeah, okay, let's spit it out. Okay, well, I think that's where the communication starts in the beginning. You have to lay these things out early. She shouldn't have to carry the caseload, the household by herself. She shouldn't. That's the conversation that needs to be said between the both of y'all ladies and sit down and
So
talk.
what if he was helping her at first when they first got together, Erskine, and
I
then
was
all of a
going to say
sudden,
that. I was
and
going to
then
say the other thing that he
Okay,
did
so
tell her at first, and she was okay with it.
well, that's a good question. I mean, I think, like I said, it goes to where you have to sit down and communicate. Why did it change? What happened? If he started out one way, then all of a sudden he's doing something different. What happened? What caused it to change?
mhm.
And that's a conversation. That's where you sit down and you talk. You have to have a conversation. I think she should ask him, well, why do you want to spend time with your boys? What is the reason for you wanting to go all the time out with your boys? Were you doing that in the beginning? Now, if he was doing that in the beginning, that's one thing. But if this
That's
is about
because
that,
it was probably one of her tickers. Be like, all right,
well,
he can go and hang out with the boys.
but if
It's
it's but if it started, just
great. Yeah, yeah.
like when a man goes out, all of a sudden you pick up these different habits. What triggered that? What started that? And that's where the conversation needs to take place. Maybe he is going out because he feels like she's annoying. I'm just giving an example.
So
Maybe
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
so maybe that's where the communication. I'm basically saying they need to sit down and talk.
So
What
Tracy, do
changed?
you consider yourself an alpha female, a beta female, or the lesser of the two?
Oh, good question. Good question. I don't. Mm, I don't know. Maybe I'm too cynical.
You too
Bruce says
what?
it's not his needs were
I
more
said
important to him than her needs. But what made him get to that point? Or was it already there?
Well, you
see
know, people
again.
send in their representative to get what they want too. So sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. There are red flags that because we like the person, we do not watch the red flags. For example, if a man is
Mhm.
beating your ass and he didn't do it before, he was always that abusive person. He just you just wasn't picking up. Like people just don't come out normally just beating your ass. There's
They don't
little
pick up on
things.
the context
Yeah,
clues.
they there's little things that they do to see
Hmm.
how far they can go. And like my
Yep.
grandmother used to say, if I give you an inch, you take a yard. So if you don't check that person as they're doing it and you don't like it, they're gonna think that they can do extra stuff. And then the next thing you know, you in a whole abusive relationship. Just like a
You don't even
man
know how you got there.
and don't know how
Right.
you got there because I believe a lot of people don't really understand how they got in these abusive
Yeah.
Yep.
relationships. And then that's just like a man that says, you know, my wife, she don't cook, she don't clean. Well, they have a probably wasn't washing, cooking, and cleaning before, but because she liked you and what you brought to the table, she
Right.
probably did these things because you know she knew that you know as we grow up as women, you got to keep a good house or you got to know how to cook to keep a man. So hell, she probably cleaned up 5 minutes before you got there. That don't
And
mean that she kept a house clean, you know. And then
yeah.
boom, you realize that your wife or your living girlfriend or whatever she just nasty as I don't know what. Like she just nasty for no reason. So a lot of time people send their representatives in. Like, this bitch can't even cook no damn biscuits.
It
And
happens.
Erskine over here want a biscuit. I knew I should have married Sabrina. I could have been married for 15 years by now. But
But now I got this bomb bitch that can't even boil water.
that's
Yeah.
right, cause
You gotta be careful.
cause she got a fat booty, and she
Yeah,
can give
you gotta
head,
be
and she can
careful.
give head.
You got to be
That's
But
it.
careful, guys. Guys got to be careful with that because you have some people that go through that, and if and
yeah,
during this quarantine season, unfortunately for a lot of couples, that's what people are finding out now. You know, your spouse is not what you thought you signed up for, and it's so unfortunate. You
and
know,
then we
not saying they didn't have issues prior to this whole COVID situation, but now when you're forced to be at home and be around a person,
It
you
forced your ass to sit down.
you're forced to sit down. You're forced to sit down and talk. You're forced to sit down and figure it out. You can't run to the club. You can't run to the lounge. You can't run to the bar. You can't run to the hookah spot. You're forced to sit down and work it out with this person or figure it out if this is the person you really
hmm
really want to work it out with.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
I mean, all of that, and
I,
it just makes you it just makes you reevaluate your relationship with that alpha female because
Mm,
again, you know,
mm.
some people think that some women are just too strong. I kind of think it goes back to um their upbringing
yeah,
or because unfortunately in the black community a lot of people grow up in single family households. So it forces that female to you know, not have to rely on a man. Hell, I want to see if chivalry is done. I'm an alpha female, but I still like the little sweet little stuff. And I do for you. You don't have to ask me, but if I want to do it from my heart, then I'm going to do it or whatever. Um,
Mm.
but, it's just, I don't know. People, I say it all the time. Me and Erskine go back and forth all the time. I just think that COVID-19 is a perfect opportunity to
absolutely.
literally talk to people and get to
Yeah,
know people
yeah.
without the distractions of going on a date. Can I afford to take her here? Well, I want to make a good impression if I take her
Hmm.
I
here, and
totally agree.
she
Totally
might
agree.
not want to go here, and if I go, do I have to hold her hand? And look, just talk, hold a conversation,
Hold a conversation,
hold a
and I think,
conversation.
and that needs to start in the beginning. That needs to continue throughout. You
Yeah,
Two
know,
things.
because even because you're married, you still grow apart.
absolutely,
You still grow
absolutely,
apart.
absolutely.
Because I'm not the same person I was when we first got together, and you're not the same person that you was when you first got married. So you have to talk.
Evolution.
Yeah,
It's
Evolution.
evolution. Everything is within evolution. Life is within evolution.
correct,
Now,
correct,
Absolutely.
correct.
hopefully, you guys are evolving together. You're on the same
On
path.
a
You're
positive
moving
note.
things
Right.
forward,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
there are times where, God forbid, for some strange reason, the path starts going crooked, and then you have COVID, and then y'all are realizing, like, damn, the things that I want, like, baby, is that something that you even like want to do? It's making you sit there and be like, we gonna have this conversation. So either
Right.
two things gonna
Mhm.
happen. It's either gonna be divorce or a new baby at the end of COVID. It's gonna be one or
Right.
the other. I don't know
Right.
which one it's gonna be, but it's
Yeah.
gonna be one or the other.
Bruce put up a point. He said, "Never stop dating your wife."
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Pull that up for a second.
You just
I,
said
I
it. I mean, it was
what,
short. Why I
what,
gotta pull it up? No, I'm messing
oh
with
no,
you. I
you
inserted my
you
alphaness.
alphaness. Yeah, but it's so true
Sure
because I
did.
think what happens. She went alpha, right? Um, the reason why is I think it's so imperative that you keep that going is because you're doing an inventory on the relationship. And what I
Mhm.
mean by saying doing the inventory on a relationship, you guys are forced to sit down and look at things, explore things, and continue to keep the connection
Mhm.
going. Work on ways to keep the connection going. Because, like you said, Lawrence, you can go in one direction. You're going in one as you get older with age. When you're dating someone, let's say you're dating someone and there's no children involved. When a child comes into the picture, the dynamic of the family it changes completely.
Mhm.
Mm.
Completely. The mother goes in the mother's mode, and it's a whole, and then the father goes in the father's mode. Because as a father, and I'm just speaking for myself, your goal is to get to it. You got to work. You don't got time to deal with the extra stuff. You got to work because you're responsible for the well-being of two people. That's the way you're thinking as a father. The mother, same thing with her. She's working. We got to make sure everything's straight with the kid. We got to get straight with the kid. So the bumping and grinding and the crazy sex and all the extra stuff that you was doing before the child, that changes. That changes. So
Is that why this is gonna be a crazy question? I don't know if it's off topic, but is that why sometimes when people think that relationships are on the fence or rocky and they're about to end, that people think that that's a time to have a baby, that will be something that will connect them together?
I don't think
It's a
that's
stupid reason,
it's a yeah. People have done that.
but
People
I
have
I
know a
done
think
that.
it's
lot
a
of people who
stupid
have done
reason.
that.
Yeah, or maybe it was the timing that it just happened to
It just
happen.
happened because, like you
You
said, it's
understand what I'm
different sides.
saying?
It's yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, Nietzsche, you answered that question perfectly. No, I don't think it's a crazy reason, but I just think you're still caught up in the physical of the
Mhm.
person of the relationship. So it can
Mhm.
happen. Just so happen that particular situation.
You caught on ovulation day.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's just facts. It
That's a
still
true
has
point.
Michelle. So no past is here.
So Tracy said, because I asked Tracy the question, do she consider herself a alpha female or beta female? And she said she started off as an alpha female, but as time went on, I saw his patterns and had to become the alpha so that our household and our children were straight. Anybody that has seen my house can testify that they can eat off the floor. I'm not a Southern mama cook. I'm not a Southern mama cook, but believe my man will not be hungry. If you insist on homemade biscuits and gravy and grits and greens and macaroni and cheese, then you should go back to your mother. I am not your mother. In words of my late great auntie, Mama had high.
Listen, I don't want
No,
Well,
no. Listen.
no homemade business, but you could at least go get Pillsbury and pop right on up.
that
Right.
part. So that's what I was going
That
to say.
part.
I was going to say,
Right.
Tracy, now wait a minute now. If he wants, look, see, now this is the petty side of me that will come
Uh
out.
oh, uh oh. Let's see
You
it. Let's see
you
it.
want you want homemade biscuits? Well, guess what? Pillsbury makes some grands, and they're they say homemade on the can. So go pop them open. He wanted grits and gravy. It only takes 5 minutes. I like to cook my grits longer than that. And you can make some gravy. Greens and macaroni and cheese. Listen here, if you can't cook it from scratch, Boston Market, you can go get some greens and macaroni and cheese from Boston Market. I'm being funny, but what I'm saying is, I get it. I get it when you say that you're not his mother. This is what I'm trying to understand. Were you all
Mm,
married, or was he just your boyfriend? Because if you were married, you should be doing certain things. Now, if you're just a girlfriend and y'all got, I don't agree with doing wifely duties. I don't agree with that, but
Right.
unless you want to.
Right.
But if you was married, I think there's certain things that you should have done, or could have done as a wife. or should have done as a wife. But that's just me personally.
Right.
Because
I would have.
everybody's marriage is how they make their marriage out
Right.
to be.
Sure,
For
sure.
the record, I would never ever put pressure on my wife
No,
to cook every day.
hell no, because we ain't
Every
got
day.
that much time.
We don't have the time to do all that.
No, we
And I would,
don't.
and when you're two professionals, you got a schedule, she got a schedule, so you wouldn't even be home to eat it anyway.
Yeah.
However, you have some guys that are into that. You know what I mean? You have some guys that look forward to that.
Listen,
But that's
I'm not gonna
inconsiderate.
tell
If
no.
you live, like,
Consider it, yeah.
let me tell
I
you
don't
something.
agree
If
with
you
that.
live in a metro area, New York, Jersey, the big cities, DC, the DMV, and everything, Atlanta, and you have a commute, and you got to pick up little kids, and you get off at 4 o'clock. We're not going to even say 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. We're going to
Jesus
say you
Christ.
get off at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
You cannot cook that
Mhm.
type of meal every single day. However,
Man,
what you could do is, if he likes that type of meal, you can always do it as a Sunday dinner. You understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
You can do
they
it as
make
a
crock
Sunday.
pot. They make crock
They
pot.
do make crock pots, but what I'm saying is, you can do it as a Sunday dinner, so
Yeah,
therefore it'll carry you over at least a couple of days into the week. If that's the time, because that's what I would do. I ain't get look. I like to cook
listen,
now. Thanksgiving and Christmas,
I'm gonna tell
yeah,
you right.
everything's from scratch in my house.
I'm gonna tell
Uh,
you right now. If I
mhm.
find somebody that can cook like my grandma used to cook, Nitra, if that was you, we gonna have to move that bed over to the side because I'm getting my black ass in there with you right now.
Oh, Lawrence, you
Yeah.
can get in the
Don't.
bed with me.
Uh, but
I
I'm
won't
gonna tell
touch
you
you.
guys something.
I
Hey,
won't
that's
sexually
better work.
harass
You
you.
know,
Yeah, look, I'm gonna pop on one of them bottles. Shit, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, right.
One thing that one thing about people that they love about that connection is usually through food, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So when you have, so it's like understanding that people don't have the time. So I like the fact that Nitra, like you said, that sometimes Sunday dinner could just be that reminder that what, let me try this old school recipe or
Hmm.
something like that that lets you know that I'm not lets you know that I care. I'm trying to think of a different phrase of that.
No, that is it. Let you know that I care, and that I'm thinking about you, because I know that this is what you like, but I don't have time the rest of the week. But I have put this day aside to
Yeah,
cater towards you.
yeah. I think that to me that'll be huge, especially because one thing about it, we're all unfortunately, depending upon the certain age group that you're at, a lot of us were raised by single moms, and
Hmm.
so boys and girls, right? So if, say for instance, if my mom passed and my wife can cook, find one of my old mom's recipes, and I come home one day and I'm eating her
That's
good
dope,
old
though.
greens, and I'm eating
That's
this
dope.
shit. I might be crying while I'm eating this damn food. Like,
No,
oh shit.
Yeah.
listen.
Let me tell you, that like a
I
scenario like that. That is dope. That's dope
But
as
you know what?
hell.
I'm gonna give y'all another scenario. What happens when you start off that way and you stop? What
Then
happens when
again,
you
it goes back to you showing, having your representative. This is not who
Yeah,
you truly are. That's why I think when you start relationships, it should be how you truly are. Don't take me to no nice fancy restaurant when you know you can't keep that up.
right?
You can't keep it up. And honestly, depending on the type of person I am, I might not even want to go to no Roof Chris or whatever. You know, I like Roof Chris, but I think Roof Chris is not worth the money, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, like, case in point, hand sanitizer. Bought somebody some hand sanitizer every time. How much I owe you? Did I ask you for anything back? I'm doing it out of kindness of my heart. I
You
know
just
you
don't
got.
find many people like that. We've had this discussion before, and you just don't find many people like that. You just don't. You just don't. I'm gonna tell you guys something, and all our viewers that's watching. My wife, I went to grad school here in New York City, right? My life for 2.5 years going through a master's program was pizza, hot dogs, because I'm going to school in Manhattan. That's what it is. It's fast food. That's what it was. When I graduated in 2001, I went down south for Thanksgiving. 2001, I come back to New York. I met my wife in the airport in 2001 Thanksgiving. I come back. I didn't go down south for Christmas. We were dating. I show up at her house. She got collard greens. She got this whole soul food spread. And I'm like, what do I owe you? What what can I do? Because I was not used to that.
And it's
Yeah, we,
sad.
I was
And
not
we,
used to. Now, mind you, we went out to eat. We went out
yeah.
to eat. I don't have no problem with that. But I was not used to that. And the funny thing about it is, she didn't just start that in 2001. She's carried that torch consistently
Because
for
that's
the.
who she is.
That's who she
That's
is.
who she is
Some
with
people
from the
stop.
heart.
Some people
No,
stop.
because that's not who they are. That's not.
Yeah,
Again,
They
it
were
goes back to
perpetrating. They were
it
perpetrating.
goes back to
yeah.
they were
I'm just telling
sending
the
in
truth.
their representatives to get what they want, and once they
Yeah,
got what they want, then the true them came out. That
right.
is not how they are. You know.
Yeah,
Again, I can give you
yeah.
so many examples. I bought this person a mask. What do I owe you? It got to the point that I was like, listen here.
They don't do that though.
If I don't say, hey, I found a mask and it costs such and such, I'm not asking you for the money back. If I just
Mm,
say, hey, meet me at this place so I got something for you, here you go. Stop asking me how much it costs. Why? Why you want to know how much it costs? You gonna
yeah,
go buy
because
somebody else something else? Because I'm
There's
not
no,
looking for
no.
any money in return.
there's an issue there, but I think that sometimes when people are asking like how much I owe, it's either the same way when we have personalities, right? Someone must have did something to them that every single time X person did something, they're like, oh, no, give me this back, give me this back, give me
There
this
you
back.
go. That's
Now,
what I'm saying.
in the back
That's
of
what I'm
their mind, they're like, oh shit, Nitra did this for me. I mean, that's very nice and sweet of her, but
What she
I
want?
gotta give it right. And it's unfair. Now again, it's unfair to you because that's not who you are. But it's gonna take deprogramming, right?
Yeah,
For
like
that
when I fed you
individual.
when we left school one day.
Oh, bitch,
And
I
you
ate
was
all the
and you
wings. Oh, I ate
and you
all.
was like, so how much you said I don't have any money. I said, Lawrence, I ain't asked you if you had any money. Come
saying.
on, I'm hungry.
And
Let's go
how
eat.
many times did I ask you? I asked that help about 6, 7 times.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
know
And,
the way
and you
that
just don't find people.
because even when COVID-19 first started, well, in March when everything started shutting down because it started back in December.
Right.
Um, one of my daughter's friends, who was also on her cheer team, she stayed with me for like a month and a half, and her mom was like, "What do I owe you?" I'm like, "I know your situation. Don't come with
Mm,
me with that foolishness. I know your situation. You don't owe me anything."
right. I
And
want to. I
she,
want to. No,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. No, I just want to make sure. No, I want to answer Roxy Carmichael's question. She said, "Were you not used to that because you spent so much time in NYC?" No, no, no. I mean, right. Well, no, I'm from the South, Roxy, but I was
That's
just, I
Stacy
was.
Giles.
Oh, that's Stacy.
Yeah, that's Stacy.
Oh, hey, Stacy, Stacy, yeah. I didn't know who Roxy was. I just saw the name. So anyway, no, 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 no. Well, living here in New York, I wasn't able to go and get home cooked meals like that because my program was so fast. You know what I mean? I was in grad school and I just really, really didn't have the time. My wife is from New York, but her family's from the South, so she naturally has that Southern blood running in her. But no, when she cooked that meal for me, I'm fresh out of grad school, so I hadn't had a good home cooked Southern meal. So it was just, I was like, oh my God, I'm used to that when I go south. I'm used to that when I go to Georgia, but I wasn't used to that here in New York, unless I went to Sylvia's or something like that. And even Sylvia's is not the same. But
No,
but yeah, to answer that question, it's not. But what to piggyback on what Nietzsche's saying and to answer Stacy as well, you have people that'll start out one way, they stop. You have people that'll do something as an expectation that you got to pay them back. You know what I'm saying? You don't find many people that's just saying, I'm genuinely doing that. My wife, just to share some stuff, we went to Virginia Beach for our first vacation. She paid for the hotel. I said, well, listen, well, how much do I owe? She said, oh, I just want to take a trip to Virginia Beach. I'm like, well, am I going to get robbed? You
But
know what I'm saying?
listen,
Like, you just
but
don't,
here's
no, look,
but
I
here's
don't
the
think,
thing.
it didn't seem real.
She took a trip to Virginia Beach with someone she was genuinely into. I would do that too. I have taken
They don't make
now,
they don't make
Ursula,
women
you
like
know
that
this
no
for
more.
a fact. I have
I
taken
know
my
you.
husband to New York City and
I know.
stayed in the city, and I
I
was
know.
fucking unemployed at that
I
time.
know. I know. We went
Like when I
together.
say
We went
unemployed, I
together.
was
Yeah.
unemployed.
Wait a
But
I
I
minute.
made a
know.
way.
Wait a
I
minute.
made a
You stayed
way,
in the city?
huh?
You
Yeah.
stayed in the
I
city?
stayed in the
Okay, in
city.
the
Oh
city.
shit,
Yeah.
that's big money. That's big money right there. That's
Yeah.
big.
And I
Yeah.
was unemployed and had been
Jesus.
unemployed for a couple of years. But I
Wow.
figured out a way because why he wanted to do something for his birthday. And I
Wow.
said, let's go to New York. And we went to New York. And I called Ursa before we got up there and I said, hey, we coming to New York. So, you know, that was from the heart. Like,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on now. I don't have a job and I'm taking your ass to New York and staying in the city.
Well,
And
well,
it what and the funds didn't come out of marital funds.
but see, my thing is this: when you have
Wow.
someone that does
That's
those kind
big.
of things, that's huge. That's
That's big.
huge. And I always tell my wife, she has the attitude like, well, I just do it because I just do it. It's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I just do it. Where the kind of women that I've interacted with in the past, that was not the case. You're
Right.
supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it. She's not supposed to do it. You're supposed to do it. I
But
could not remember I can't remember anyone ever saying, "I'm going to take you to dinner" up until I started dating her.
Bruce, ain't nobody messing with you.
Well,
I
Bruce,
need to laugh. Oh my bad.
let's say I
I
didn't make it
love
back to
it.
Harlem that night. I didn't go back to Harlem that night. We didn't
But
have
Okay.
but
sex.
but but even with that being said,
Yeah.
even with that being said, that is not to say that I wouldn't let my husband be the man
Sure, sure.
because I did something that he wanted to do. I knew he wanted to do it, and I figured out a way. Unemployed
Yeah.
and all, I
But
figured
see,
out a way.
but that's what I'm saying. As men, you appreciate women like that. You
Stacy
appreciate.
said we got to do a part 2 and 3 of this.
Yeah, I think so too. I really think so. I really think so. But that's what I'm saying. You have to appreciate women. My wife, and I'm just being honest, she's done some stuff I've never seen before. Like you can't compare a mother and a wife because they're two different people. But
And
the
please don't
love,
compare me to your mother.
no, it's not. You're not
No, no,
comparing your
no,
mother
no,
and
no,
your
no,
wife.
no.
But,
I've had that. The comment
oh,
was,
you
"You
had
just
that.
like my mom," and I said, "No, your mom's a fucking
Nah.
liar. I'm not."
Oh, oh,
Damn.
oh.
Oh,
I
wait.
didn't.
The only
Oh,
thing we share
oh,
is
oh.
is you. You're my husband. You're her son, and we have the same birthday, but we are
Right.
nothing alike.
Right. But
And that ended that conversation. He never said that shit
Wow.
again.
I think it just shut me the hell up.
yeah.
I did not expect you to say that.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
that went way over here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But you
but
know
no,
what?
no,
It
no.
also,
You just don't find people that are genuine because everybody's in such an economic crisis or economic situation, and it's
oh,
hard to
economic
find
get
people
up.
that economic come up. Yeah, yeah, economic come up. So when you do stuff like that, like you did for your husband, Nitra, as a man, I'm just saying, as a man myself, I would be blown away. Like I completely blown away. Like,
I would have said initially that would have shocked me, right?
mhm,
But as you get to know someone, you start knowing that, hey, that's just how Nitra is. And it gives me a little bit of that relaxation to know I don't have to have that worry in the back of my mind that is she going to be asking me like for receipts later? So
right, right. That's the way I was thinking. I was like, am I
No,
gonna have to pay
because
her
even my mom, when she found out that I had my other bonus child, she was like, one thing I can say about you, Nitra, is you will always help somebody that's in need. And I said, yeah. I said because the reality of it is you never know when you're going to be in that situation.
and I'll tell you,
And it's not be and with me saying that, it doesn't
back?
mean again it does not mean that if I'm in that situation I'm gonna come to you
yeah,
because I do not ask people to do stuff for me. And a lot of people, like, again, like when I left my husband, I left with my clothes, my daughter's clothes, and a TV, and I rebuilt everything. It was months before anybody ever knew that I left. That would have been a perfect opportunity. Me going knock, knock, knock. Oh, remember back in 2000, blah blah, or 19 such and such. When I did blah 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 blah. Lawrence, can I get some chicken? Because I need some chicken wings to feed my baby now. I don't do that because I think if you do stuff from the heart, then you don't supposed to, or you should not ask for somebody to help you.
Well, I'll tell you, both of you would know this. Even with me, even I just remember both of you have, in separate instances, have done things for me, and I'm even when it comes from people that are family, right? And you have that background of, you know, quid pro quo. I'll use it that way,
Yes,
right?
Bruce, he knew I was not working when I took him to NYC, and I hadn't
You
been
did.
working for a couple of years, but
Wow.
but I had I did have a small hair salon. So yeah, he knew I wasn't making. When I say working, I mean like W-2 working. But even with my hair salon, because it's so overly saturated, there still wasn't any money. Hence why I'm not doing it, and I went back to the government. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lawrence.
It's okay. I was saying that it takes a mindset to change it, and even to this day, um, I never forget that. Remember when you said it the other day? We were talking about changing the chicken wings that day. It was even then. It was so painful. I couldn't even get over it. And there are things that EJ has done for me that even to this day I'm sitting here like, shit. I need to get them something. I need to get them. And it's because it was built into my mind at an early age,
Hmm.
right? So even now, I think even if I got into a relationship and someone was doing that to me, it would still take me a while just
To reciprocate.
Yeah,
to get used to
you
it,
get used to
Yeah.
it. I went
just
through
to get
that.
used to it, right? Because
But
at
you
the
still
end,
have
I'm
to
still
get
sitting
ready.
here like, I'll leave some money in your purse or on your, well, not on your table like a hooker,
I
but
was about to say, don't leave nothing on my nightstand.
I
Mm-mm,
put
mm-mm.
I
No,
put two
sir.
twenty. I put 220s on the nightstand. Call it a
No,
day.
no, because it's worth more than some $40.
Well, okay, all right. I'll add a 20.
Too
I'll
much for
add
my
20.
virgin ears, guys. This is too
But
much for my virgin
You better
ears.
move that decimal point.
it really does. Really, I think if people understand the background where people come from, and some people would never accept it. Like some guys will never accept a woman doing anything for them. Period. Period. They won't accept anything like that. And then other you can have other females that are like, I ain't doing shit for no
And they be
dude.
like, gimme, 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 gimme.
Yeah. To
Yeah.
me, I'm a very altruistic person. So if I do it, it's because I want to do it. But even then, I still can't reciprocate it. And I'm telling you right now, to this day, it is the hardest thing for me to accept. And I know if that is something that I get into in a relationship, it will have to be. I know it. It will have to be discussed. Because if not, we are already shooting bad already from the beginning.
Well, then just express it and say,
Yeah, I
Communicate.
think that's what EJ. I think that's
yeah,
what EJ was saying. You just have to say it up front. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
guys. Excuse me.
All right.
But I mean,
This is good.
you have to. We, it is good conversation. Huh?
Yeah.
I
Hey.
mean, we just have to not expect anything, but love from the heart. That's why I always tell people peace and blessings. I don't say a lot of the have a good day or whatever. I normally say peace and blessings to people because you want peace. Like uh, on my door, my wreath on my door says peace. When you come in my house, if you come in my house, because everybody don't come in my house because I don't want negative energy in my house. No, we're not arguing. We're not doing none of that because I had a time where I would argue. You say something I don't like. I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna tell you
I'm
how
gonna
I
fight
feel,
your ass.
and it was too much. It was just too much, and it was draining, and it put me in a whole depression state. So I don't argue. My kids can tell you. I built my house from the ground up in 2018. We moved in here 2018. So I left my husband um, the 8th of April 2017. December, I put a contract on my house to be built of 2017,
17, yeah.
and then the end of 31 July of 2018, I went to closing. And from then until now, you can ask my kids, how often have I raised my voice? Or how often have I yelled? Or how often have I sound like I was mad or whatever? No, we're not doing that here. It's peace. Now, if I raise my voice, it's because my 21-year-old is on his video games, and for whatever reason, he likes to wait about 9 o'clock at night to get on his thing and start calling all people all kind of bitches and hoes that he's playing online with. And I had to tell him, hey, look,
Yeah, calm that down, little boy.
calm down. But other than that, no, it's peace. It's peace and blessings over here. We're not doing all of that.
You
We're
know
not
what?
doing all of that.
I will put this ticker in there, and it can be definitely discussed in part 2 or 3 of this audio series.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
relationship. I was in a relationship with someone, and I'm not an arguer. I'm just not going to. I don't. I don't. Just like you said, Nitra. I don't want that energy in my house. We are adults. We can sit down. We can have a conversation. If you're in a disagreement with me, let's talk about it. Don't hold that shit in. But as soon as you try to raise your voice in my house, I'm gonna sit there and look at you and wait until you're done. And they literally said to me, "You act like you don't ever get mad." I said, "Oh no, I'm upset." But I just don't want to bring that energy in my house where I lay my head at.
Nope.
I cannot
Nope.
do that. And they're like, "Well, I need you to raise your voice." I'm like, "What you want me to do? Punch you in the face?"
No, it's draining. It is
I
so
can't do that.
draining. Once you
I
get out
can't
of
do
a
that.
situation like that and you realize how draining it is, you
Yeah.
don't want that anymore. And,
Wait a
and
minute,
the
here we
crazy
go.
thing is, because when I would talk to my ex-husband on the phone, he would say little things that he knew was triggers for me to get a rouse out of me.
Yup.
And I would just calmly say, okay, I gotta go now. I'll talk to you later. He didn't know what to do with that. He did not know what to do with that because I
Yep.
wasn't giving him that energy. So,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would, I don't know if he was purposely doing it, but either way, he was doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
I would not let it bother me. I would get off the phone, and then sometimes I wouldn't talk to him. And sometimes I wouldn't talk to him for months at a time because I don't need to talk to him. We have a daughter. She's 13 years old. She has a cell phone. He has a cell phone. If she says, Daddy called and said, Daddy wants to come over here and bring me something, okay. Because what I don't do is I don't talk negative about nobody's father, and I don't keep people from their fathers. Don't do that. So
Mm-hmm.
if he want to come and take you, and for the whole summer, go ahead, because Mama gonna be slipping and dipping in this house because I can't do it in the streets.
Slipping, slurping, ripping.
Slipping and dipping,
Dibbity,
you know.
dibbity, dibbity, dibbity. Dibbity, dibbity, dibbity.
Yeah, but I do not do negative energy. I will tell you right now, this conversation is over. We're not doing this.
Yeah.
We are not doing this.
Yeah.
Because it was so funny because even my brother was like, and this was it last weekend or weekend before last? We was sitting outside in the parking lot. Well, parking lot in there. He was in my he came over to pick up something, and so we was talking, and he was like, you know what? I got something to tell you. I've been meaning to tell you this, but I just have never said anything. And I was like, well, he said, you have changed. What you mean I changed, dude?
Uh-oh.
He said, you ain't like angry no more.
Mm.
I said, no, I'm not. I said, it's peace over here. He said, I see. He said, I like it. You're back to the old nature. Yeah.
That brings down your blood pressure and have black people live longer.
Thank God I never had high blood pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yes,
A lot of
Jana. I think that's how you say your name. Yes,
Yeah.
I have to protect my
Your
peace,
peace.
and I set boundaries.
Right.
Yeah. So even when I'm talking to a guy, like if I meet a guy and we're chit chatting or whatever on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't like I was talking to this guy. He was he was what 52. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
44. He was 52, and it was like we would be talking, but he got offended about the stupidest things. Just the stupidest things, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't talk to him. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
But then he would tell me, like, months went past. He would tell me, yeah, you're gonna be my woman. No, I'm not. And I would tell him, I said,
Oh.
no, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not. I said, what makes you think I want to be your woman? You don't really know nothing about me because I don't tell you really nothing about me. He said, "Oh yes, yes you are because I'm a good man." Well, who said you was a good man? Tell me
That
why you
sounds like
tell me why you're a good man. And then another time, because he don't even live in the DMV, he lives down in Chesterfield, Virginia. Another time, he called me about 2 o'clock at work. It was on a Thursday. My daughter had cheer that evening, but he called me at 2 o'clock, and he was like, "Hey, baby, what time you get off work today?" I said at 4 o'clock. He said, "Oh, okay, that's good. That gives you time to go home, get cleaned up." First of all, women don't get cleaned up. Men get cleaned up. Women don't get cleaned up. But I said, "Get cleaned up." He said, "Yeah, that'll give you time to get cleaned up and meet me at McCormick and Schmidt." I said, "McCormick and Schmidt?" "Yeah, at 6 o'clock." I said, "Who going to McCormick on Schmidt at 6 o'clock on a Thursday?"
this sounds like a Lifetime movie waiting to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
He said me because I'm coming up there. I said, "Well, you might be coming up here, but you won't see me. You won't see me." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I got more important things to do. Ain't nothing more important than seeing me." I said, "I have a daughter. She got cheer practice." He said, "Oh, well, I guess that's more important to me." You damn right. So every time he says, "Oh, I'm in your area," I said, "Oh, well, I'm going down past your way." So I make sure we do not. I be sitting in my room. Yeah, we're not doing this. Stop
What
telling
was
me
that?
you're a good man and you gonna make me
What
you're
did
going to make me your woman. You know nothing about me. You have no meat to your size. I give you surface stuff.
one of the things that
No energy.
there is a saying that that came from Black Panther that I always laugh at
What,
now.
Wakanda
And
forever?
no, no, no. When he said we don't do that here. We don't do that here
Yeah.
whatsoever.
You're right. But you know what? We do really need to wrap this up. We do need to make it part two because this is part
Yeah.
one. So I
Yep,
guess next week we'll name it the same. I name it the same thing, and then I put part two on there. But
yep,
we just really appreciate our day ones for still coming out and supporting
Right.
us all the way from Germany. Bruce is always here. So we do really appreciate you all. And Erskine, do you have a gem for the night?
Oh man. Well, I always say my same old thing, but I feel like it never gets old. The most important thing is to stay positive and stay uplifted.
Mm.
It's so much going on outside of your doorstep. The minute you step outside of your house, the minute you turn on the TV. So the most important thing is think about the positive and always stay uplifted. Despite
Excuse
the
me.
negative stuff that's going on in the world right now, there's always some kind of good that's coming out of it.
Yeah.
There's always something good that you can find throughout this situation, throughout
Right.
this process. So that is my gem for the night. That is my gem. And I also, before we roll on to Nitra and Mr. LB, is big shout out to my girl Christy, Dr. Christy Black Morrell.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Christy, for coming on tonight to talk about your books and just a phenomenal conversation. Thank you so much for being the amazing Brownite that you are from Morris Brown College, and also being a fellow Columbus, Georgia native, like all three of us. So, kudos to you, Christy. All right, that's my jam.
Lawrence.
I'm going to piggyback a little bit on what EJ said, and that is forgive yourself.
Mm.
If we're not, if there's not one person that will beat you up more than anybody else in the world, it will be yourself.
Yep.
You know, and in all this time, you're going to second guess, quadruple check yourself, and you need to be kinder to yourself, love yourself more. And by doing that, you'll be able to be a better person to your family, to the
Mm.
world around you, uh, and it'll give you a more uplifting and peaceful life. So, if anything, just say, forgive yourself more, and everything will be okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I will always say, protect your peace. Don't let anybody make you come out of your character.
Mm.
because it's just way too much energy. And right about now with COVID-19, with this whole election coming up and everything, we don't need to waste any type of negative energy on foolishness right now. So I just say peace and blessings to everyone. Bruce, thank you for being up at 3:33 in the morning
AM.
AM in Germany just to see
Yeah.
us act a fool on
Ooh.
this live every Saturday at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time.
Standard time.
So we love you all. We thank you for coming
Thank you.
out and watching us. Please don't forget to like, share,
Yeah.
and tell people about our show. We the topic may be one thing, but we will slide into something else because that's how conversations should be. It should not always be the whole topic on the same thing all day. If you have any inquiries about advertising with us, please email us at unfilterednochaser@gmail.com, and we will respond, or I will respond. If that's for, if you have a small business that you would like to promote, or if you just want to give us a topic for discussion. So
One
on
thing I
that,
can say, Nitra, is right before that, you just brought up a very good point. Please, 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 there are some primaries that are going on in specific states.
yeah,
Georgia just had one, Kentucky just had one, New Jersey is coming up in a couple of weeks. There's a very, very big push to suppress the minority and African American vote.
correct.
Please make sure that you go out and do your civic duty and
Yeah,
vote no matter what.
Yes.
yes, vote
It
no
Yes.
is
matter
more
what.
important. One of the things EJ said before we started is that this election is literally vote or die. So
Yeah.
please do that. I wanted to drop that
Yeah.
again. I
Well,
apologize for
let me
speaking.
just say this, since you said vote or die, I just need you all to please vote, because the current person sitting in the Oval Office is trying to do away with the Affordable Care Act, which is coined the Obamacare, and I
Right.
think it's very vile and evil for his
Hmm.
administration to stand behind him and not tell him no, we're not doing that. And for the
Right.
person that actually filed it with the Supreme Court, I think they are a heartless individual, because
Disgusting.
everybody needs health care, no
Everybody
matter
needs
no
healthcare.
matter what walk of life you are. Healthcare is important. We do not need to die unnecessarily because we do not have healthcare. And we are the one of the richest countries in the world. I personally believe that healthcare should be free for everyone.
Yes.
But because it's not, please make sure that you vote. Please pray or meditate that the appeal to have the affordable health care is no longer available for people, because there are
Hmm.
people that actually need the affordable health care
To live.
to
To
live.
live.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, we
Right.
thank you all, we love you all, and we will
So
see
much.
you all next week.
I